What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Join my Discord if you want to chat and share your thoughts, the link is in the description. 6GF 136. Be warned, two guys who are going to cause trouble. In the Otsutsuki clan, there is no such intensive training. Basically, it is distinguished by the nobleness of the blood. This particular training is never done. It can be said that the Otsutsuki family uses a very old method. Because they have never encountered an enemy who can resist them, they will naturally think that this method is invincible. It's a theory of bloodlines. For example, a sacred tree that is not managed by anyone can only grow so high, and a sacred tree that is pruned by someone can grow so much taller. As Uzumaki Mizuki said, he used the lock of the sky as a metaphor. The sky lock emerges from the ground. From the first section to the waist, the second section is slightly higher, about 1/5. It doesn't look like there's a big difference. Kagaya doesn't feel like much has changed. Just like you. If the person who has your strength is a person with rich combat experience, then it will not be so simple for me to catch you. When you use power, it's completely a firepower covered style of play. If your strength is not far behind the opponent, then it will become your weakness. Uzumaki Mizuki also had no intention of hiding this matter. Directly stated Kagaya's shortcomings. Even if Kagaya knew, it would not be a short while to make up for this shortcoming. But the speed at which he increases his strength is far beyond Kagaya's ability to catch up. Hearing Uzumaki Mizuki's direct words, Kagaya's face froze. This method does have merit. Kagaya did not hold back and admitted the matter. And Naruto et al. Have already started testing. Uzumaki Mizuki has been watching here. Orochimaru didn't care too much here, he just came over as a shadow clone, which was enough to handle the task. Now he is stepping up research. These days, I have seen many things with Uzumaki Mizuki. Even, upon request from Uzumaki Mizuki, got Kagaya's hair and a strand of cell. Uzumaki Mizuki told him that using this thing, there may be a possibility of being backlashed, and it will become Kagaya's clone. However, he believes that Orochimaru is not an easy enemy to kill. Even for him, it seems that it is not so easy for him to kill Orochimaru completely, much more difficult than Kagaya. The statistics will be completed soon. Did you notice anything wrong? Uzumaki Mizuki asked Kagaya, what's wrong? Advertisement Kagaya asked suspiciously. She had been looking at Gaara and Naruto all the time. She really wants these chakras. For example, Yuya's backhand or something. Uzumaki Mizuki asked, is there such a person? Blind eyes? Hearing this, Kagaya was a little surprised. Then he opened his white eyes directly and began to observe the bodies of the 20 children. However, nothing amiss was found. No, after reading it, Kagaya replied. I let the owners of these tailed beasts output chakra for you all the time, reaching the level of a tailed beast, so that you can return to your peak? Uzumaki Mizuki did not continue to ask, but changed the question. Can the tail beast continue to output chakra, and then form a second head tail beast? With enough chakra, my strength can sleep more. Are you going to give me back the 10 tails? Kagaya's face Jonin couldn't help showing joy, and asked Uzumaki Mizuki quickly. No, it's just an experiment, don't give you 10 tails, just ask them to give you chakra, can you return to your peak? Uzumaki Mizuki shook his head, almost saying you were thinking about shit. Then state your intentions directly. With enough chakra, it should be possible to get back to the top in a short time. But after it's used up, it won't work. It needs to be provided by 10 tails all the time. Kagaya has no intention of cheating Uzumaki Mizuki yet. So the question is still answered. It seems that there is something in the tail beast that can be resurrected after being wiped out. It seems to have some kind of core. Is it the power emperor of the V******? On Orochimaru's side, he directly stated his guess. To be able to withstand this kind of chakra, you should be able to slowly refine it yourself. You must have the power of a tailed beast. Uzumaki Mizuki continued to ask, 10 tails, the core of bearing strength. Kagaya didn't want to say it, but said it anyway. Can the seeds of the divine tree be replicated? Orochimaru couldn't help asking. This thing, he feels is the core for evolution. The seed of the sacred tree can only be found in the Otsutsuki family. Advertisement Kagaya also answered Orochimaru's question. There is no way to copy this thing. Only the mother tree can be made. The Otsutsuki family is also good at farming. It seems that this power is not easy to replicate. Let's find a way to find the essence through chakra and the power of nature, Yinshawan. Uzumaki Mizuki sighed, and then said to Orochimaru. Geto's statue was placed in Wangjabao by him, and he didn't want to put such an ugly thing in it. But at that time, I was going to deal with Kagaya, and I thought it would be safer to put Wangjabao, so I haven't released it yet. Yes, King, Orochimaru didn't give up. He also got a part of the Geto statue, but he didn't research anything before. After that, I was blindfolded by more information. It is only now that I realize that this thing can also be used for evolution. After taking out Otsutsuki Yuya, let's start expanding. This world is still too small. Uzumaki Mizuki spoke. Orochimaru's expression shook. He was extremely curious about the outside world. I feel that if it is integrated with outside technology, it may be able to promote the development of its own technology. Kagaya Haim also looked at Uzumaki Mizuki in some shock. I feel in my heart that this person is indeed a person from outside this planet. Because from the memory brought by the fusion of Black Zetsu, Ninja World knows nothing about the universe. But the thought of the two is completely different from that of Uzumaki Mizuki. So, hurry up and find this guy Otsutsuki Yuya, and get rid of him. Don't think about it, I won't give it a second chance. Uzumaki Mizuki looked at the two and said, now, the most dangerous things in Uruk are these two. If one fails, it will cause trouble. The other one might have been thinking about backstabbing. So, be warned. The faces of the two tightened and neither spoke. Both of them have a deep understanding of the world. But only, I don't know about Uzumaki Mizuki. That leaves them with a fear of Uzumaki Mizuki. 137. Reappearance of Ninja War. Impure World Reincarnation by Sage of Six Paths. In the following days, Uzumaki Mizuki continued to practice Flying Thunder God. At the same time, he also felt that his body seemed to be growing at an accelerated rate. The chakra provided has actually exceeded the number of 20,000. 2,000 is already a chakra of ordinary Jonin level. He is only 10 years old, and he has already reached the level of 10 times Jonin. Whoosh! Uzumaki Mizuki, appearing at the Flying Thunder God coordinates he arranged. The speed is a bit slow, it takes nearly a second of preparation time. However, this means that distance doesn't mean much to me. As long as the mana is enough, I can reach it in an instant. Uzumaki Mizuki moved his lower body, prepared to insert coordinates all over the ninja world. But the first time, he left his own coordinates on Naruto. It has been more than 3 months since the elite class started training, 163. Good results. In addition to Orochimaru, there will be Might Guy, Kakashi, Uchiha Itachi, Shizune including Kushina to guide. Represents Taijutsu, Ninjutsu, Genjutsu, Medical Ninjutsu and Sealing Difficulty respectively. Except for the 3 major arts, Body Arts, Ninjutsu, and Illusion, the remaining 2 are voluntary learning. The ones that worked best were Hyuga Neji and Gaara and Sasuke and Kimimaro. The next level is Naruto, Sai, Lee, Temari and Kankuro. Others are tertiary, but this is learning progress. The strongest ones are naturally Gaara, Kimimaro, and Naruto. Others are slightly weaker. The strongest 3 can basically beat elite Jonin. In addition to the slightly inferior experience, the basic strength has been achieved. At the level of Sasuke and Neji, you can deal with Jonin. The others are more or less behind, but Chunin's strength is still there. The combination of Ino Shika-cho is more than enough to deal with Jonin. It's just that Uzumaki and Mizuki haven't seen what he wants to find. The most important thing is that Otsutsuki Yuya will play tricks on Naruto. Now Uzumaki Mizuki is calling attention to the intelligence of the Three Tails resurrection. At the same time, look for traces of Otsutsuki Yuya while inserting the coordinates in the ninja world. Mother was released. For Otsutsuki Yuya, the resurrection time of Tailed Beast is earlier. But the place where he is not on the surface of Ninja World, but in Pure Land. This is an independent space. Advertisement stores the souls of people who died in the Ninja World. However, he who was resurrected not long ago is not very strong. Plus Kagaya-ji came out, which shocked him. Originally, I wanted to wait for the arrival of enemies outside the Ninja World, and when the Ninja World couldn't resist, the regiment prepared to use it. Do you want to continue waiting? Or, just use it here, don't wait any longer? Otsutsuki Yuya's side is also struggling. He is indeed preparing something. It's just that he is a little bit kinder than Kagaya-ji, and he doesn't make people into sunsets. His intention is to let more people have chakra. The chakra that these people have is passed on by themselves. The stronger they learn, the more chakra they will have when they need it. The 2 sons are also his test subjects. It's just that at that time, he didn't make such a fuss. Ninja World's own development makes it even bigger. At that time, when Otsutsuki Yuya was still there, it was just the farming era. And what he taught was also the technique for farming. I didn't expect that I would change so much later. Although many people use ninjutsu to kill more people. However, there are many more people who will use chakra. The reincarnation and inheritance of the power of the 2 sons was created by him. Because, he is going to absorb these 2 forces and fuse them into his body. Otherwise, why didn't he suppress it with one hand when Indra made troubles? How can someone with only Mangekyo beat Rinnegan? But the presence of Uzumaki Mizuki broke his plan. Feeling that Uzumaki Mizuki is a little dangerous, he wants to take back the power of the 2 sons. But was blocked. Mother has not yet become 10 Tails Jinchuriki, and her strength is no longer at its peak. I don't know how far that Uzumaki Mizuki will continue to grow. If I wait forever, will I win, or will the 2 of them find me first? This is one of the biggest headaches for Otsutsuki Yuya. He felt he had time to wait, but he was afraid that before that, he would be found by these people. Wanting to gather strength is not something that will happen in a short time, it will take a little time. It is to leave it to fate and wait by oneself afterwards. Or go out with your own hands and fight to the death with the opponent. Both are very risky. Advertisement because the plan he had prepared did not know how much help it would bring him. Waiting for luck to kill each other? It seems impossible. Can't wait any longer, let me take charge of this world again. Finally, Otsutsuki Yuya, with firm eyes, it is best to be responsible for your own destiny. Leave it to luck, he can't believe it. Let's end it within 3 months without causing a commotion. Otsutsuki Yuya closed his eyes and began to get ready. He needs to, this ninja world mess up so that Uzumaki Mizuki can't notice what he's doing. So, dead undead. Come back to this world. Otsutsuki Yuya sneaks up and uses reanimation jutsu on his own initiative. Released all the troublemakers in the ninja world over the years. Uchiha Madara, Golden Horn and Silver Horn, 2 or 3 shadows of each ninja village of the 4th generation. Including Danzo, Sarutobi Hiruzen, Hanzo and many more. He didn't let go of any of them, all given to Impure World reincarnation. He did not appear in front of these people, because of them, it is natural to be against Uzumaki Mizuki. The ninja world now is completely different from what they remembered. Uruk, which occupies their country 4.0 in Ninja Village, will they really sit idly by? Moreover, what Otsutsuki Yuya wants is just a chaotic ninja world. He doesn't care what he does, as long as his plan can be carried out stably. Then it's all worth it. This is also the reason why he established the Pure Land in the first place. At the same time, it was also his last available hole card. After accumulating for so many years, there are always many powerful guys who can act as thugs. Chaos, Ninja World. Otsutsuki Yuya took one last look, then immediately returned to the Pure Land, not daring to appear. He is very afraid of his own mother and Uzumaki Mizuki. 138. First generation. This gambling time is my benefit. Here is Impure World Reincarnation. Why not Rinne Tensai technique? Uchiha Madara awakens from Impure World Reincarnation. In order to avoid being discovered, Otsutsuki Yuya left one step ahead of time and did not let them wake up quickly. And in case anyone goes through these Impure World Reincarnation folks, find yourself. So he controlled a ninja and borrowed his body and chakra to use this technique. It can be said that he was afraid of his mother and Uzumaki Mizuki being afraid of ultimate fear of being found. Many people around also woke up together. Everyone was at a loss, not knowing what was going on. The vast majority of people know that they are already dead, and they don't know what happened. Uchiha Madara's body is also in an old state at this time. Because Otsutsuki Yuya is not interested in changing the physical fitness of Impure World Reincarnation for a single person. You are Madara. There were Madara's acquaintances who recognized him. It is second Hokage. He also discovered his status as Impure World Reincarnation. But he felt that the people of Impure World Reincarnation seemed to have disappeared. Therefore, this group of people who have been reincarnated from the filthy soil are not controlled by anyone. Undead, unlimited chakra. Those two things combined were enough to make Senju Tobirama feel troubled. Not to mention seeing the troublesome guy Uchiha Madara. It is you. It's not the technique you used, so who is it? What about Obito and Black Zetsu? Uchiha Madara was a little irritable at this time. The plan didn't go according to his imagination, which made him feel a little uneasy. He is not quite clear about the current situation in the ninja world. He wants to find Obito and Black Zetsu now, and find out what's going on. Monkey, Sarutobi, come here, how did you die? Although Senju Tobirama is not happy with Uchiha Madara. But now that both of them are dead, it doesn't make any sense to fight. So he kept looking around, and soon found another acquaintance. These people are the location of Impure World Reincarnation, altogether. Otsutsuki Yuya directly found a village and directly sacrificed all the people in it. Advertisement people around have gradually begun to run outside. Everyone wants to find out what happened in the ninja world. Second generation project. Sarutobi Hiruzen was also shocked to see his teacher. And there is another person who came with him, Danzo. Sarutobi. I was controlled by the distinguished heavenly gods, I didn't intend to do that. Danzo felt very guilty about himself. When I saw Sarutobi Hiruzen, I came over and apologized. Stop it all, whoever dies is the last, stand up for me. Uchiha Madara is a little angry here. He waited for a while, but did not see Obito and Black Zetsu. This made him realize that something had definitely gone wrong with his plan. So he asked directly. At the same time, trees popped out of the ground, directly binding those people's bodies. Wood-style technique. The scene was chaotic. Basically, those who wanted to escape were tied up. Senju Tobirama was a little shocked that Uchiha Madara was able to use wood style. But at the same time, Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo were also asked how the two disciples died. What did you say? Killed by a kid who was only 8 years old. Senju Tobirama looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen in surprise. Even if my big brother and Uchiha Madara were at the genin level when I was 8 years old. The strength of my own disciple is not so strong that even Jonin can't reach it. My big brother, was he given to Impure World Reincarnation? Sure enough, I feel his coordinates. Senju Tobirama continued to hear the news. His face was cloudy and uncertain. He didn't expect that the technique he developed would make his big brother sleepless after death. A bunch of trash. Uchiha Madara looked around and found that most people died earlier than him. He didn't care about Senju Tobirama's side because he knew that the other party had Flying Thunder God, and it was difficult for him to catch it. Finally, Uchiha Madara directly uses the ultimate body of Susanoo, spreads her wings directly, and leaves from here. He's going to the base. He prepared to see what's going on. The people around who came out from Impure World Reincarnation also ran away directly. Uchiha Madara has a problem, however, our strength is not his opponent. Let's find the first generation project first. Senju Tobirama, seeing Uchiha Madara leaving, also couldn't stop it. Advertisement. The fact that Uchiha Madara knows wood style is very suspicious. Coupled with the actions just now, he felt that Uchiha Madara might be hiding something important. In the past, there is a high chance of facing that Uzumaki Mizuki. Sarutobi Hiruzen hinted, but now that he is dead, those obsessions are not so deep. I just hope that my family can still have some incense to inherit. Now is the situation of Impure World Reincarnation, and there is Flying Thunder God. What can he do? Senju Tobirama said disdainfully. Then, he directly put his hands on his two disciples. Then use Flying Thunder God. The target is exactly the coordinates of Flying Thunder God that he left on his regimental lieutenant before. Ha ha ha. I finally won this one. Senju Hashirama laughed loudly, and happily took the chips from the gaming table to his arms. But on the court, it suddenly became quiet. Senju Hashirama also feels wrong. Turning his head to look, he was immediately taken aback. Although he is a big brother, he is very afraid of his younger brother. Big brother, what are you doing? Senju Tobirama's face was very ugly. He originally thought that his big brother would be misused as a weapon by that kid named Uzumaki Mizuki, who kept killing Konoha's people. But now? Gamble? If my sister-in-law hadn't persuaded me, the entire Senju clan would have been exported? I'm resting. I'm very busy every day. I have to develop a lot of skills and guide some cultivation. I can come here to gamble, but I have been approved. Senju Hashirama said very hard. This casino is only open to high-level people. Come in with a capital limit, specifically for the rich. Ordinary people don't even have the qualifications to come in. So Uzumaki Mizuki didn't bother. What's going on now? Tell me clearly. Senju Tobirama, with a dark face, asked very seriously. Seeing his brother angry, Senju Hashirama flinched, but felt a little humiliated. There are many gamblers around, it's a bit embarrassing. Hurry up and drag Senju Tobirama out of the casino, wanting to find a place where no one is around, and whispering to his brother. 139. Senju Tobirama's curiosity. I see, this little devil is a bit powerful. After listening to Senju Hashirama's narration, Senju Tobirama said with a complex expression. Back then, Konoha also possessed such power. It's just that because of my big brother, I can't choose this option. It was rare for him to think of going with Uchiha Madara at that time. Rule the entire ninja world. Unexpectedly, it was actually completed by a child. Has he already achieved this level? Sarutobi Hiruzen was also shocked. He didn't expect Uzumaki Mizuki to get this far. At that time, when he died, he thought that Konoha might be destroyed. Unexpectedly, the final result turned out to be like this. Shimura Danzo was at a loss here. It is obviously unbelievable that that Vortex Kid actually has such power. Even if I was in the heyday of my life, I should not be his opponent now. Senju Hashirama sighed, but recently, he really has nothing to do. That's why it's time to relax and gamble. By the way, help my granddaughter quit gambling. The time he used was his granddaughter's share. Tsunade was very angry, but he couldn't break the rules, and he couldn't beat his grandfather, so he had to give up. Then focus on your own project. She is now mainly doing simple project formulation and division, and mainly researches without hands. So phobia, it doesn't matter. Big brother, aren't you his opponent? Senju Tobirama was a little shocked, because he originally thought that his big brother was the strongest in the world. At the beginning, Uchiha Madara also died at the hands of his big brother. However, what I saw just now is very wrong. That appearance is not the appearance when he died in battle at all, but died of old age. There it is, Otsutsuki Yuya, but at this time, a voice suddenly sounded. Senju Tobirama, Sarutobi Hiruzen, and Danzo were all on guard immediately, as if they were ready to strike. Turning his head to look, he found Uzumaki Mizuki who came out of the portal opened by Kagayaheim. Also appearing together are Kagayaheim and Orochi Nishi. Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo both looked at the child with complicated expressions. Take control of the three of them and ask how they woke up. Advertisement. Uzumaki Mizuki ordered Kagaya Haimechi directly. During this period of time, Kagaya-ji was basically familiar with this feeling. Although the heart is still angry, but still do it. Before Danzo and Sarutobi Hiruzen could form seals, the eyes of the whole person turned into the appearance of Rinnegan. Kagaya-heim easily invaded the Impure World reincarnation spell. In front of the real ancestors of ninjas, these ninjutsu are not very useful. Neither Uzumaki nor Mizuki can achieve this level with Rinnegan and Tensigen, which is an essential difference. You can ask. Kagayaheim said. Uzumaki Mizuki glanced at Orochimaru. Orochimaru hurried forward. Where you were when you regained consciousness, do you know who gave you to Impure World reincarnation? What was the situation around when it appeared, and who were there? Orochimaru started asking a bunch of questions. At the same time, he took out a pen and paper and began to record the answers of the three people. After about 5 minutes passed, I finally figured out what was going on. Impure World Reincarnation has a bunch of awesome characters? However, I couldn't find the caster, so I hid. A lot of people I don't know, even people who are dressed in old-fashioned clothes. Through these 3 points, Uzumaki Mizuki basically locked that this thing was done by Otsutsuki Yuya. On Kagaya-ji's side, I still don't know why. Okay. Uzumaki Mizuki to Kagaya-hime. Kagaya-ji immediately released the control. Although she didn't know why Uzumaki Mizuki was able to judge so decisively that her rebellious son had appeared. But she's excited, because this means an opportunity, and at the same time, it is also an opportunity for him to take revenge on this traitor. No matter which one is achieved, it is a good thing. This woman. After Senju Tobirama woke up, he looked at Kagaya-ji with a face full of shock. Impure World Reincarnation was developed by him, so he understood what happened just now. Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo were even more shocked. They didn't even think that they couldn't even resist. Let's get rid of these two, Uzumaki Mizuki then ordered. Kagaya-ji was very powerful, and directly ejected 2 ash bones about the length of a thumb. Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo didn't even have a chance to escape. In the end, their bodies turned into ashes and disappeared slowly. The Sarutobi clan is still there, and so is Shimura. I'm not your kind. Advertisement. These are the last words Uzumaki Mizuki said to the two. Sarutobi Hiruzen showed a relieved expression, while Danzo's expression was complicated. One is the feeling that I felt the extraordinariness of Uzumaki Mizuki at the beginning, and the other is regret. It is right that the twins should be separated after they are born. However, everything is over. How come? Impure World Reincarnation is immortal. There is no other solution except seal. Senju Tobirama did not feel sad about the departure of the 2 disciples. Because they are already dead. Second generation, your understanding of this world is too little. Now, it's a brand new world. Are you interested in understanding the true nature of this world? For Orochimaru's side, no reminder from Uzumaki Mizuki. He sent an invitation directly to second Hokage. He was not killed because of his scientific research ability. Most of Konoha's forbidden technique was developed by him. The strength is limited by the times and cognition. In the current situation, he is definitely no worse than Orochimaru. First generation, he will be handed over to you. Don't let him make trouble. If you don't agree, I will send him away when you come back. Uzumaki Mizuki said finally. Then use Flying Thunder God directly, and leave with Kagaya-ji. What is going on in this world? Tien Fen is so strange. To Orochimaru, he was very rude. Zhao Qian Zhao asked directly. Being treated like this is a bit uncomfortable, but Orochimaru's side was not offended. It's true, Ma. The identity of Kagaya-ji is explained in great detail. Although he doesn't hold meetings often, no one keeps secrets from him about some major events. But Senju Hashirama doesn't care about these things. As long as he sees that everyone has food to eat and can live steadily, he is very satisfied. Senju Hashirama's side helped Orochimaru to confirm. What is the essence of this world paper? By the way, what's your name? Senju Tobirama's thirst for knowledge came up here. Hearing this explanation, Senju Tobirama was taken aback. What did you say? The true ancestor of Ninja Chakra, the mother of Sage of 6 Paths, Insuki Kagaya-hime. Senju Tobirama also has its own arrogance here. 140. Fugaku and Itachi's eternal mark Mangekyo, making 6 Paths mode? Have you found nothing? Uzumaki Mizuki, with Kagaya-ji, appeared in several positions in the ninja world. During this period of time, the coordinates of Flying Thunder God have been roughly inserted. About 100 kilometers apart. It can be said that it is densely packed, and basically anywhere in the ninja world can be reached within an hour. No, he hides it so well. Kagaya-ji's face is also heavy. My rebellious son is far more powerful than I imagined. In Black Zetsu's memory, there is nothing about his son. Focus on Indra and Ashura, to actually think that Otsutsuki Yuya is dead. Even if the 10 tails are scattered, they won't only have that little lifespan. It seems that there is a purpose for letting these guys out. Disrupting our view? Uzumaki Mizuki felt a little irritable. In 1 month's time, the Land of Fire will be included in Uruk for 1 year. At that time, the points can be directly exchanged for the distant Utopia. So there is no pressure to deal with Otsutsuki Yuya. It's more annoying to not find this cockroach-like guy. If I can regain my prime, I may be able to find him. Kagaya-hime said tentatively, although it seems unlikely. But still, give it a try. Undoubtedly, it was a success. Don't play tricks. 153. Do you think you can defeat me if you regain your peak? Uzumaki Mizuki looked at Kagaya-hime with murderous eyes. Rush to kill Otsutsuki Yuya, mainly for Naruto. Otherwise, Uzumaki Mizuki is in no hurry. If you have the ability to hide, then don't come out. After 2 years, I will kill you with 1 blow. Just can't figure out what happened to Naruto right now. The omniscient and omnipotent star is too expensive, and it is worth more than the distant ideal town. It will not be able to be exchanged in a short time. For the power of Ashura's reincarnation, Uzumaki Mizuki didn't pay attention at all. It's just that if it's on your younger brother, you can't take it away. Yes. Kagaya-ji was caught by this glance, and her heart skipped a beat. Advertisement. The pressure is too strong. Totally different from another kid who looks exactly the same. If it wasn't for their appearance, she really wouldn't be able to feel that these two children are brothers. You get rid of all these people who have been reincarnation by impure world. Find Otsutsuki Yuya and I'll give you the chakra of the tailed beast, but forget about 10 tails. Uzumaki Mizuki ordered to Kagaya Haim. He doesn't care if Kagaya G recovers or not. The insidious guy is even more troublesome. On the bright side, this kind of person is easier to deal with. Yes, King, Kagaya G regained her previous calm again. But what kind of idea is in the heart, the whirlpool water doesn't know. Then, Kagaya G started to work. She also wants to find her son. I feel that my son should be preparing for something. It must be related to restoring strength. If I can get it, maybe I can restore the peak strength. It's a little uncomfortable to see people's faces. Return to the royal city of Uruk. Uzumaki Mizuki began to think about where Otsutsuki Yuya would be hiding. If it's another place like a space seal, then maybe it's only right if the ninja world is completely smashed. But the odds are high. But a week has passed and there is still no news. Kagaya G worked very hard here, and killed many enemies who were reincarnation by impure world. However, there are also many people who were hidden after the impure world reincarnation. They basically knew the current situation in the ninja world, and they were all shocked. They obviously didn't expect someone to be able to dominate the ninja world. This kind of power is definitely not something they can deal with. But this almost comparable to rebirth made them unwilling to die again. Moreover, there are also many people who want to restore their former power, and feel that the ninja world should not speak out. Anyway, there are people with all kinds of ideas. As for Uruk, an experiment is going on. The eyes of Fugaku and Itachi switch. It is very possible to become an eternal Mangekyo, and if it fails, it can be exchanged back. Orochimaru, as the chief surgeon, CFBA, began to explain to the two of them. On the side there are Shizune, Yakushi Kabuto as secondaries. Senju Tobarama watches from the operating room. Lament that life is impermanent. Unexpectedly, it would come to this point. The Uchiha clan survived, but the Senju clan is almost extinct. Advertisement. However, he is also quite concerned about this kind of technique, but he didn't do it, but watched it. It doesn't matter, let's do it, because of the director. 1. Fugaku is calm here. The risk is not great. This experiment can help the Uchiha family understand a lot of news. Then he is naturally obliged. The first generation cell was also the first one he transplanted. After there were no major problems, it was Itachi's turn. For Uchiha, he can be said to have tried his best. Surgery will begin shortly. The physiques of the two have been improved by the first generation cells and have stabilized a lot. At about 5 hours, both men rose from their hospital beds. Then remove the bandages from the eyes. The two used their Mangekyo Sharingan as strangers, and finally, it worked. The pattern has changed. Orochimaru was somewhat agitated. Then he quickly drew a tube of blood for the two of them. He wanted to see if the genes of the two had changed after the eyes were replaced. With the first generation cells, the next thing is to master the fairy art, and then we will arrange for the tailed beast to inject you with a large amount of chakra, and you should be able to try to open the Rinnegan. Uzumaki Mizuki arrived just before the end of the operation. The landline phone is already connected, so there is no need to wait. Uzumaki Mizuki guessed many places, and finally felt that Otsutsuki Yuya might stay in Pure Land. This place is really hard to find, which makes him feel a little helpless. He almost contributed to the fact that there will be more new Rinnegans in the ninja world, so he is also interested in coming to check. Thank you so much, King. On Fugaku's side, thank Uzumaki Mizuki directly. He knows that everything Uchiha has now, cannot do without Uzumaki Mizuki. Loyalty to me, because I am loyal is enough. After opening Rinnegan, there will be something for you to do. Uzumaki Mizuki said. He's going to try and make someone with 6 paths mode. Otsutsuki Yuya can give the power of yin and yang, and he thinks Kagaya G should be fine too. Big deal, sleep-tail chakra for her. Kagaya G can make the truth-seeking ball by herself, which is enough to prove her strength. Kagaya Haim, who is still looking for her son, and the people who deal with the impure world reincarnation, never thought that she would be used as a tool man by Uzumaki Mizuki. It's your duty, King. Both Fugaku and Itachi were kneeling on the ground, very respectful. I have tried the feeling of losing everything before I realize how precious it is now. King, is everything to them. 141. 2 pairs of Rinnegan, over Rinnegan? Uzumaki Mizuki didn't delay. The father and son who possessed first-generation cells quickly mastered the art of immortality. It's just that the effect is not too strong, it can only be regarded as mediocre. But, like Jiraiya, there is no need to have 2 frogs squatting on your shoulders to help absorb the forces of nature. Then, Uzumaki Mizuki arranged for Jinchuriki to come over and help Uchiha and his son activate the reincarnation eye. Here comes Dao Jinchuriki Fu. She is a little older than Naruto and the others. When she came over, she was a little trembling. In order not to scare her too much, she passed out directly to avoid accidents. Inject the chakra of the tailed beast in her body into these 2 people, and don't let this child get hurt. Uzumaki Mizuki greets chakra expert Kagaya Haim. I specially brought her back today. just to let her come to work and at the same time experience the power of technology. Yes. Kagaya-ji didn't ask any more questions, she knew what to do and wanted to help open the Rinnegan for these two slightly better scumbags. But she felt that even with Rinnegan, their strength would not be so strong. Essentially powerful as level suppression. Having the same ability, but the difference in strength is too big, it will not have much effect. However, it is considered a stronger soldier. In the Otsutsuki family, they can barely take on the task of dispatching combat. Then Kagaya-ji directly extracts the tail beast chakra from Fu's body. Then injected into Fugaku's body. He still served as the first test product in order to reduce the risk. Although his son is too paranoid, he is still his son. Fugaku actually felt that his eyes had reached the conditions for evolution. But it just feels a little bit worse. At this time, a large amount of chakra is injected into the body. Fugaku felt that his eyes, like a bottomless pit, quickly absorbed these chakra. About less than 5 minutes, the eyes of Fugaku's eternal Mangekyo directly changed into the pattern of Rinnegan. Purple Rinnegan, same as Uchiha Madara Rinnegan owned by Uzumaki Mizuki. Next, Uzumaki Mizuki ordered. As for Orochimaru, he has already rushed up to ask Uchiha Fugaku how he feels. Fugaku also feels very magical here, it seems that there are a few more pupils in his eyes. Advertisement Kagaya-hime didn't stop and continued to commit crimes. Inject chakra into the body of Uchiha Itachi, takes about the same amount of time as Fugaku. The eternal mark Mangekyo opened by Itachi also becomes the pattern of Rinnegan. Also purple. The batch of Senju Tobarama I saw was a little envious. Dog Day Uchiha, how lucky is he? At the same time, he no longer felt guilty about his two dead disciples. They made the Senju clan so miserable. Send Fu back, check the situation, if there is any discomfort, notify Orochimaru immediately. Uzumaki Mizuki has Orochimaru's men on his side. Several medical staff hurriedly pushed Fu, who was on the hospital bed, away from the scene. Try it, your strength. Uzumaki Mizuki spoke. Fugaku and Uchiha Itachi looked at each other, and then began to demonstrate the new pupil technique they had after opening Mangekyo. Both Universal Pull and Shenluo Tianjung are available. There is also Absorption Ninjutsu. Including Rinne Tensai also has, but it doesn't work. Now your strength should surpass Pain's 6 paths at that time, but there should be some gap with Uchiha Madara. After all, there are more chakra and Indra reincarnations in his body. However, it has officially entered the level of the top ninja powerhouse. Uzumaki Mizuki nodded, acknowledging the strength of the two. With these 4 Rinnegans alone, as long as the Uchiha family does not want to rebel, they will basically be the pinnacle family in the ninja world in this life. There is also a special ability. Fugaku followed suit. Itachi also nodded. The two then demonstrate the temporal and spatial abilities that both Rinnegans have. Like Sasuke's is the Sky Hand Force, and Madara's is the Wheel Tomb. And Fugaku's is the Gate of Space, which can be similar to Kagaya-ji opening the portal, but slower, and can't tear the space, more like Obito Kamui absorbs it. It is an escape skill. And Itachi's Rinnegan time-space skill is similar to Flying Thunder God's ability to guide minds, which is to transmit the attack to the enemy who attacks him. Anti-reverse. The pinnacle of blood succession boundary. Orochimaru was slightly envious, but what he pursued was a stronger level. He's been replaced with a clone. Advertisement: this clone has wood style, but is tiny. Ask for flowers, but inheriting the great restorative powers of the first generation, he has now pressed a Sharingan and a white eye. Not for combat, but for better observation and recording of experimental use. It is the damaged part of the soul, it is difficult to repair it, and the journey to practice immortality is still a bit far away. Then, it's the next step. Kagaya-ji, pass on your Yongdun and Yindun powers to them for a try. Uzumaki Mizuki continued to order Kagaya-hime. Hearing this news, Kagaya-ji was taken aback. Then his face was a little unwilling. This is her power, a level that ordinary inferior products can't reach at all. But now, if it is given to them like this, maybe they can grasp it themselves. 0. Have you thought through the consequences? Uzumaki Mizuki didn't have a good attitude. He is not interested in being a licking dog, so slowly convince her. It's best to make a clear threat. I'm sorry, Wong. I'll execute it right away. It was over in about a minute. Kagaya-ji raised her hand, and the palm of her hand passed the power of Yin Yongdun that she had mastered, and passed it to Fugaku. Orochimaru was surprised. Although he is so strong now, he still has no idea of challenging Uzumaki Mizuki. Other people on the field are paying close attention to this place. P.S. The first update. Thank you for your flowers and evaluation tickets. Stable update, safe collection. Please subscribe. Please ask for a monthly ticket knife. Still came to Fugaku first. Isn't it over? Kagaya-hime's palm, pressing on Fugaku's head. Because of this incident, no one in Uzumaki Mizuki knew about it, so they all wanted to know what changes could be made by doing so. Fugaku was a little puzzled. Yin-yang escape is the secret of her immortality. Kagaya-ji looked unwilling, but still did it. He originally thought that Rinnegan should go to Uchiha's ultimate, but unexpectedly, he was able to see this scene. However, this is Uzumaki Mizuki's arrangement, he naturally has no objection. Because, he witnessed how Uzumaki Mizuki got to the present level step by step. Yin Dun's spirit is immortal, and Yang Dun's body is immortal. After fusion, it is her immortal ability. In Rinnegan, Guyu appears, 142. Tame 9 tails into dogs. Fugaku also felt that he seemed to have changed a bit, as if there was something more. This power, if not, won't last long. Kagaya-ji said to Uzumaki Mizuki with her mouth flattened. Let me explain, the main reason is that after this situation disappears, Uzumaki Mizuki will think that she is playing tricks. Just now, she absorbed a lot of chakra from that Jinchuriki. Not all passed to Fugaku and Itachi, but now, teaching Yin Yang Dun is very consuming chakra. Feeling lost? Now that you have the power of Yin and Yang, you can try to do the truth-seeking ball, which is the power to reach 6 paths. It's him next, go ahead. Uzumaki Mizuki didn't care what Kagaya said. Anyway, it's just a try, and it's good to have any good changes. Kagaya-ji was a little depressed, but 430 followed suit. Gather the power of Yin Yang Dun again and pass it on to Itachi. Itachi's pair of Rinnegans also underwent the same changes as Fugaku, and 3 Tomo appeared in the middle of the pupils. It is different from Sasuke's Luguyu Sharingan. Then there is the Hyuga clan, let their clans exchange eyes to see if they can make Tensigan out, I don't quite understand this. Uzumaki Mizuki then spoke to Orochimaru, he is rapidly expanding the strength of his subordinates. Now ordinary Mangekyo's strength, under Uzumaki Mizuki's hands, is basically a 1/9 second. It just depends on the degree of magic power, yes. Orochimaru sighed, happy. Start blood draws, get cells for research. You said, if there are dozens of fighters of this level of strength, it shouldn't be a big problem to deal with the Otsutsuki clan you were worried about. Uzumaki Mizuki then asked Kagaya Haim. The people who have Rinnegan are already good fighters in the Otsutsuki clan. If there are dozens of them, they should be able to withstand it. Although Kagaya-ji didn't want to admit it, she still told the truth. However, people are selfish, I don't want to see someone catch up with me. She felt that the father and son were not too far apart from her. What is missing is only the difference of the sacred tree. In other aspects, it is not the inferior product that I think it is. Advertisement has great potential. Kagaya-ji has a Vegeta feeling when he sees a low-level fighter like Son Goku who has the potential to become a Super Shangya. Some can't believe it. You, like Otsutsuki Yuya, never thought of passing on her power to others. If it is the same as it is now, there is no need to wait so many years to continuously train a large number of fighters with Rinnegan. Although I don't know what Otsutsuki Yuya has prepared this time, I will definitely make him despair. Uzumaki Mizuki said very calmly. Kagaya-ji and Otsutsuki Yuya both subconsciously fear that they will be surpassed by others. But Uzumaki Mizuki didn't, his own strength is far from touching the boundary. Itachi and Fugaku, if he can reach the level of Uchiha, he is already very satisfied. There is only 110 tails after all. Uzumaki Mizuki wanted to keep it for his younger brother. However, he didn't want Naruto to turn into 10 tails Jinchuriki until he got rid of Otsutsuki Yuya. Kagaya-ji was silent, feeling the air of confidence in Uzumaki Mizuki. At the beginning, she only felt this kind of feeling from the noble Otsutsuki clan. Looking not far away, a pair of father and son who are testing their strength again. Kagaya-ji feels, does she really have any hope of rebelling against Uzumaki Mizuki? Then, it was the Hyuga clan who started experimenting. The selected ones are the head of the Hyuga clan and the ninjas in the branch house whose strength has reached the level of elite Jonin. Mainly exchange eyes with the Otsutsuki people on the moon and test the situation. Whether it will be successful or not, no one knows. Uzumaki and Mizuki didn't bother, letting Orochimaru do it. Anyway, it's all blank stares, it's not a big problem. What he is busy now is to help Naruto master the power emperor of 9 tails. Now Naruto's body is barely able to use 9 tails. At the same time, the foundation is also very good. To be able to become an elite class, it is still unbelievable to rely on strength alone. Cultural courses and basic aspects must be achieved. Although Naruto was specially approved by Uzumaki Mizuki, his courses were all ranked in the top 5. Should Naruto be given this power now? At that time, when I was 16 years old, I only came into contact with this power zone. Kushina is a little worried. I didn't want to tell her at first, but in the end I did. It doesn't matter, I can easily suppress 9 tails, if not, I will stop. Advertisement Uzumaki Mizuki reassured. Now with Rinnegan and Tensigan, can half 9 tails turn the world upside down? An existence that can be easily suppressed, not much danger. Don't worry, Mom, I'm sure I can do it. You can be 16, but I can be 10. Naruto is talking big here, but in fact, I still feel a little uneasy. Clang. HMPH, talk big, if you fail later, wash the dishes for me for a month. Seeing that her son was so rebellious, Kushina punched him hard. The beaten Naruto held his head and screamed in pain. Let's start. If you can convince 9 tails that it's the best, if not, just suppress it directly, and then extract its chakra and use it. Uzumaki Mizuki spoke. In fact, he wanted to draw out 9 tails even more. He always felt that this guy must have something to do with Otsutsuki Yuya. But behind Uzumaki Mizuki, The huge floating Tensigan directly released its breath, and instantly tamed Nine Tails like a dog. Choose, help Naruto honestly, or be sealed. So today, Uzumaki Mizuki is going to seal this thing up and wait until the matter of Otsutsuki Yuya is over. Good. 3.3 inches Tensigan. Sit down. Uzumaki Mizuki gives Nine Tails options. Just like Erha. Maybe when the time comes, these tailed beasts will rebel by yelling directly. I was hit just now, and my head still hurts. Nine Tails probably didn't even know it themselves. Naruto also hastily gritted his teeth and closed his eyes. Squat down directly. Uzumaki Mizuki used the Tensigan on the moon. Nine Tails also looked at Uzumaki Mizuki with unkind eyes, as if a hungry wolf was about to come up and bite. 143. Completely seal the possibility of Nine Tails, Tensigan. You are strong, but why should I listen to you? Nine Tails is not convinced. Just like Erha, you always have to try it. Otherwise uncomfortable. Uzumaki Mizuki no nonsense. With red pupils, Nine Tails looked straight at him. Then, it's on point. Tensagan's strength directly suppressed it. Then, Uzumaki Mizuki jumped up and directly lifted off the seal of Nine Tails. Boom. Nine Tails is not without resistance, it's just being held down. When the seal is opened, Nine Tails directly used several chakra arms to grab Uzumaki Mizuki. Behind Uzumaki Mizuki, a golden light lit up. The Skylocks, which were more than Chakra's arms, rushed out directly, easily suppressing these Chakra's arms, and then the Skylocks tightly bound Nine Tails' whole body. Nine Tails was still struggling crazily, but Uzumaki Mizuki didn't want Naruto's mental space to be destroyed. Open the treasure house of the king, and a red wine gourd appeared from it. It's Uchiha Itachi's 10-fist sword, but it was exchanged by Uzumaki Mizuki from the system. This thing is formed by chakra, and there is no entity stored in Itachi's eyes. This time, in order to seal Nine Tails, Uzumaki Mizuki spent 2 million points to redeem, which is specially used to seal Nine Tails. Although Uzumaki Mizuki has basically mastered the 25 seals, Uzumaki Mizuki doesn't know if it will be useful to Otsutsuki Yuya. So it is more stable to use equipment. Roar! Nine Tails opens its mouth, ready to use the tailed beast bomb. But Tensigan released the heavy pressure, pressed it on its mouth instantly, and broke it directly. Then, the wine gourd opened in an instant, and a long sword made entirely of chakra emerged from it, which was then ejected directly from the king's treasury. It stabbed Nine Tails hard on the head. No no no. Nine Tails let out a struggling roar, but nothing works. The whole body was quickly sucked into the wine gourd. Then the lid of the wine gourd was closed, and the whole spiritual space became calm. Uzumaki Mizuki then scanned Naruto's mental space. It was also his first time here. I didn't come here before because I was afraid of problems and I was afraid of hurting Naruto. Advertisement: now that the strength has arrived, there is not so much consideration. Uzumaki Mizuki unleashes Rinnegan, who, along with Tensigan, scans the mental space earnestly. Otsutsuki Yuya is capable of pulling both Naruto and Sasuke down into the mental space. So, there must be something wrong here, but after searching for a long time, I found nothing. Uzumaki Mizuki finally had to give up. This time, the main purpose is to watch Nine Tails. Now that Naruto is not expected to work, the only enemy is Otsutsuki Yuya. No matter how strong Naruto is, there is no way to quickly grow to the level of 6 paths in a short period of time. And who knows what the hell happened to the tailed beast, it's better to be more stable. Uzumaki Mizuki didn't let Naruto's spiritual awareness in. Until Otsutsuki Yuya is dealt with, this Nine Tails is better off staying in 10-fist sword and not coming out. Failed. Uzumaki Mizuki opened his eyes in this world, Tianfun said calmly. Naruto also slowly opened his eyes, a little dazed. He was hit by an illusion just now and did not enter the spiritual space. So it's still a little unclear. Naruto, are you okay? Is there any discomfort? Although I said it just now, Naruto has to wash the dishes because of defeat. But Kushina is still very worried about Naruto's physical condition. I seem to have fallen asleep just now. Do you feel uncomfortable? It seems that you don't. Naruto got up straight from sitting cross-legged. Then check your body. I don't know why, but I feel a little relaxed in my body. After answering his mother, Naruto opened his hand and tried to hold the Rasengan together. It seems that it has become easier. Looking at the Rasengan that appeared quickly in his hand, Naruto opened his mouth in surprise. Before, he could only use Shadow Clone to make Rasengan. But now, it can be rubbed out with one hand. Without success, I resealed Nine Tails, and now it should not affect your chakra. In the past, you were disturbed by Nine Tails chakra, which was equivalent to a weight. Now after subtracting the weight, the degree of mastery of chakra is naturally more refined. Uzumaki Mizuki explained. Then comfort Naruto and tell him that at most 1 year, he should be able to master the power of Nine Tails. When the time comes, Sasuke can be hoisted and beaten with one hand. This made Naruto very satisfied, just have to pay more attention. Uzumaki Mizuki left the house and sat down in his own quiet room. Advertisement: I started to wonder if there was something I had overlooked. The half-nine tails on his father, Uzumaki Mizuki, had already informed him that something might happen. But Minato decided to take it on himself, because no one knows, Otsutsuki Yuya will choose which half. It is best to take the risk yourself, this is Minato's belief. Forget it, beat him upright. Solve all the plans he prepared, and then take back all the tailed beasts. Uzumaki Mizuki decided this way. Kill those impure world reincarnation people first. After that, the other tailed beasts were taken away. Now the remaining Jinchuriki are 1 tail, 6 tails, 7 tails. Naruto's immobility, these 3 let Orochimaru try to see if he can pull out the tailed beast without dying. In case of death, just use Rinne Tensai. Anyway, this thing, to Uzumaki Mizuki, is like a resurrection without cooling down, a little pain and it's gone. Although I don't know what the consequences will be, but if it can be used, let's use it first. Find Orochimaru and state your request. Orochimaru naturally had no opinion. Start arranging this right away. How about the Tensigen of the Hyuga clan? Uzumaki Mizuki asked Orochimaru after finishing the 613 arrangement. Because they didn't know how to do it, and neither did the Otsutsuki family, so they just had a simple eye replacement surgery. After the replacement, Tensigen did not appear, but the chakra and physical fitness of both sides have improved to a certain extent. After analysis, the genes seem to be filled. Hyuga Heishi has used first-generation cells, and the effect seems to be better. Now his strength has reached cage level, and his eyes seem to be turbulent, but he has not evolved. Orochimaru replied seriously. In his view, these are the powers that can be his own. So I care very much. He already has the cells of these families, except that Mangekyo is a little more difficult to deal with. He has the supercilious eyes of the Otsutsuki family and the genes of the Hyuga family, and as long as he succeeds, he can reproduce them. Kagayaheim should know, just ask her. Uzumaki Mizuki spoke from this side. It may be that chakra is not enough, or there are certain conditions. However, there is no question that the strength of both sides has increased. These 2 families can be said to be the purest families in the ninja world, especially the Otsutsuki family on the moon. It is almost the earliest gene of inheritance, which has been passed down. It shouldn't take many changes to reach this level, but there must be preconditions. Otherwise, wouldn't it be possible to make dozens of pairs of Tensigen casually? 144. Uchiha Madara strikes. It's coming soon, just another month. Otsutsuki Yuya opened his eyes slightly, feeling the changes in his body. It won't be long before his preparations can begin. Restoration. No, it won't be long before you surpass your own strength back then. At that time, no one in the ninja world can stop him. This world. It's only past this time, why is there such a big change? Uchiha Madara is at a loss here. When I went to my own base, there was nothing but Obito's body. And the way of death was to be killed by the seal he left on his heart. The Akatsuki organization was completely wiped out. The entire ninja world has become a member of the so-called Uruk. Everything made him think that Infinite Tsukuyomi had already started. Have your memory been rewritten? But, he of impure world reincarnation, feels this world, too real. The plan I had prepared, but the doctor failed. Black Zetsu can't be found, and Gedo statue can't summoning now. Let's see, the king of this world, if the strength is mediocre, I will replace you, then re-establish the order, and complete Infinite Tsukuyomi's plan. Uchiha Madara has found a new target. He felt that there should not be too many strong people in the ninja world now. Otherwise, Yi will not be unified. Even if he joined forces with Hashirama to unify the ninja world, it would take a lot of time. Now he has no interest in controlling a new force. Although I don't know who sent me impure world reincarnation, but he will regret this decision. Uchiha Madara made a decision. Then turn on the full body Susanoo again, spread its wings directly, and fly in the direction of the former Fire King city. Himura's eyes need to have a certain potential, and at the same time, the level of chakra must reach the level of the father and son. On Kagayaji's side, he spoke. People from the Hyuga clan and the Otsutsuki clan looked at her eagerly. After all, they are ancestors. They're kind of down the line, more respectful. Although this person was also guarded by their ancestors. However, the ancestors were right. Unlock Neji's caged bird, I think he has the potential. Advertisement Uzumaki Mizuki side, to Hyuga Heishi. Hyuga Hiashi's face tightened, he didn't dare to refuse the king's request. However, unlocking the caged bird in the branch house really troubled him. But he felt that the pressure from Uzumaki Mizuki was getting stronger and stronger. Finally, I had to respond with my mouth. Yes, the genes of the Otsutsuki family do have problems. If you want to surpass your ancestors, you must either have perfect genes, or you can only create a new path. In the future, I feel that you are here in Orochimaru, and there is more future. Uzumaki Mizuki here, then commented, lineage has limits. But it is also the easiest to rely on blood. Orochimaru feels cool. Being evaluated by Uzumaki Mizuki like this, I feel that I did not choose the wrong path. The members of the Hyuga clan and the Otsutsuki clan looked a little helpless, and they were almost satisfied if they could reach half of their predecessors. Do you want to use the ninja world as a base to expand to the entire universe? After Orochimaru left with the Hyuga clan, Kagayaheim couldn't help asking Uzumaki Mizuki. Because, if only to manage the planet, Uzumaki Mizuki is more than enough. His subordinates are enough for him to manage the entire planet. However, watching Uzumaki Mizuki continue to strengthen the strength of his men, Kagaya-ji felt that Uzumaki Mizuki had a big plan. It doesn't look like he just wants to develop on this planet. Maybe, what about a place bigger than this universe? Uzumaki Mizuki looked at Kagayaheim and said. Kagaya-ji felt a chill in her heart. I felt that I still underestimated this man. Work hard for me. I'm not like your Otsutsuki clan. I'll eat it up and clean it up. If it's useless, I'll kill you. In a few years, your strength is in front of me, and that's it. Uzumaki Mizuki said finally. The time when Kagaya-ji can backstab himself is before he can deal with Otsutsuki Yuya by himself. After killing Otsutsuki Yuya, then I have nothing to worry about. This old guy, being able to seal Kagaya-ji, this idiot, is indeed not an easy thing. It has been stored for thousands of years, but Black Zetsu has not found it at all. Black Zetsu also thinks that he is secretly leading the progress of the ninja world, but it is actually because of Yuya. Yes, Kagaya-ji's thoughts of backstabbing have become less and less. Advertisement in this matter, she felt that the success rate was too low, because she didn't have so many arrangements. To restore the peak, you need to take back the Gedo statue plus the 9-tailed beasts. The odds are too low, okay? Uzumaki and Mizuki aren't gone yet, though. Together with Kagaya-ji, both sensed that there was a powerful chakra approaching. A huge blue Susanoo, falling straight from mid-air. Just outside the royal city of Uruk. Uchiha Madara also has no idea of slaughtering the weak. For him, killing the king of Uruk upright would be enough. Although I don't know how the other party has mastered such a big country by relying on the 10-year-old grade. However, I must be stronger than him, he just showed up not long ago. Around, there are people approaching. The leader is Uchiha Itachi. He is now in charge of the Royal City Guard Army. Is a rear admiral, only belonged to the king's confidants. Kakashi was handed over to his own father by Uzumaki Mizuki, who was not in the mood to control this person. Who? Uchiha Itachi also opened Susanoo without hesitation. Nuo is good, his eyes directly changed into Rinnegan's appearance. The huge red Susanoo, confronted with Uchiha Madara's blue Susanoo. Are you the king of Uruk? But it's not called the Whirlpool, it's from the Uchiha family? Looking at Uchiha Itachi's Rinnegan, Uchiha Madara couldn't help asking. Good guy, this Rinnegan is not his pair, because there are 3 Tomo in the middle of this Rinnegan, which is different from his own. Uchiha Madara, it is disrespectful to call Wong by his last name. Give up resistance and return to the Pure Land, otherwise, I will seal you up. Uchiha also recognized Uchiha Madara, he knows all of these things that have happened recently. Let him pay attention to the people of Impure World Reincarnation who will appear near the royal city. 145. Look away, they are all dead anyway, aren't you the king of Uruk? Uchiha Madara was taken aback when he heard Itachi's response. When he saw Uchiha Itachi, he felt a little troubled. I don't know how this descendant turned on Rinnegan. But now it seems that the situation is more complicated than I imagined. Without waiting for Uchiha Itachi to respond, Uchiha Madara raised his head and looked inside the city walls. I saw another fuchsia Susanoo appeared in midair. At the same time, Susanoo, who finally became a perfect body, reached a level with his own Susanoo. Then, he watched this Susanoo fall in front of him. Another Rinnegan? Looking at Uchiha Fugaku's pair of Rinnegans, Uchiha Madara was a little lost for a while. Sure enough, I still won Infinite Tsukuyomi. Forget about everything before Infinite Tsukuyomi was completed. Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Fugaku looked at the man in Susanoo in the distance with a complicated expression. It was this man who changed the fate of the Uchiha clan. Is their own ancestors, more or less a little bit of kinship. But now, he is the Generalissimo of the Army 523 that belongs to the Uruk Empire. No longer are people of the Uchiha clan alone. You're the king of Uruk? Uchiha Madara asked again, only this time, he didn't have the affirmative tone before. A little. Disturbed? Madara, you are finally here, I have been waiting for you for a long time. However, there are also people who are full of interest and rush over with a smile on their faces. It is Senju Hashirama, straight across the city wall, jumped out. Standing on the ground under the city gate, looking up at Uchiha Madara in midair inside Susanoo. UB******************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** Uchiha Madara felt that he was still not in Susanoo. Some happy, but also some lost. Still, Infinite Tsukuyomi, he's definitely getting it done. The current world is just false and will be destroyed at any time. Only Infinite Tsukuyomi is the eternal utopia, whatever it is. Let your king come out and don't get in the way here. Advertisement. Uchiha Madara spoke directly. He didn't think that if the opponent had Rinnegan, he would be his opponent. The same weapon has different effects on different CFAF people. Let these juniors experience their own strength. Seal him, Itachi. Fugaku didn't intend to continue persuading him either. If it had been that simple, Uchiha Madara would not have defected in the first place. Yes, father. Uchiha Itachi nodded. Then took the lead in controlling Susanoo, holding the 10-fist sword, and slashed towards Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Madara is not a good stubble either, directly facing him. The powerful impact instantly shattered the ground. Madara, fighting is useless, you are no longer the strongest ninja. On Senju Hashirama's side, he was still persuading. I want to tell my good friend this cruel fact. Now there is not so much to bear, and both of them are already in the 4 countries. So Senju Hashirama has no hatred towards Uchiha Madara either. Naturally, I don't want to see my good friend disappear like this. But Uchiha Madara didn't care at all, now he has nothing to lose. Uchiha Fugaku followed. The 2-on-1 Susanoo battle started directly. The movement is not small, the movement is a bit loud. It's good to let Fugaku and the others exercise, but we need to change the place. Uzumaki Mizuki and Kagaya also came. It's just that the figures of the two were not found. Kagaya looked at Uchiha Madara, not knowing what to say. She has absorbed the memory of Black Zetsu, so she naturally knows how miserable this person was fooled by Black Zetsu, so she doesn't know whether she should pity him or not. Whoosh! Uzumaki Mizuki directly used the jump knife, appeared behind Fung Zibo Madara. Uchiha Madara felt it, but was instantly teleported away by Flying Thunder God technique. Then, Fugaku and Itachi were also sent over. Mizuki, can you take me there, I want to see. Senju Hashirama saw that it was Uzumaki Mizuki who made a move, and hurried over and begged. Uzumaki Mizuki nodded, put his shoulders directly on him and put him through the doctor with him. Then he took Kagaya and passed. That was just now. Sent away by the Flying Thunder God, Uchiha Madara felt a little shocked. The security didn't notice that person just now. At this moment, I thought about the appearance of that person. Advertisement, King of Uruk. Uchiha Madara's face was cloudy and uncertain. But Itachi and Fugaku were teleported after him, here in the Valley of the End. The old battle location. The two father and son attacked directly, without giving Uchiha Madara a chance to think. Senju Hashirama was teleported over and was almost slashed by Susanoo, startling him. Uzumaki Mizuki and Kagaya came over, and it was much more stable. See if their strength can pose a threat to you. Uzumaki Mizuki to Kagaya. Then he looked aside. They're all top experts, not waste. This kind of battle is still very exciting. Senju Hashirama tried a few words of persuasion, but seeing no effect, he didn't participate, but let the opponent fight. Anyway, Madara is dead, and then sealed, that's the same thing. Look away. Boom. 3 Susanoos, all using ranged attacks. They all threw out the hook jade made of chakra, collided and exploded directly. The lake in the Valley of the End directly splashed a huge water column and rushed to the sky. Uchiha Madara gets crushed. After all, he didn't mean that he was much stronger than the father and son. Mainly chakra and more, followed by experience. At first they were evenly matched, but within 2 or 3 minutes, they began to be suppressed. And more uncomfortable. Susanoo of Madara, whose hands are constantly being chopped off. Fortunately, there are many chakra, otherwise I really can't stand it. Tengai Shinsei. Uchiha Madara couldn't take it anymore. Everyone, Susanoo, is almost the same, and the opponent has an absolute advantage in numbers, so we can only use ninjutsu. In an instant, 2 huge meteorites fell from midair. However, it was an indiscriminate attack, and all 3 were covered within the attack range. Uchiha Madara was the first to clear Susanoo, then Wood Style opened the gap. Universal pull. Fugaku didn't hesitate to disarm Susanoo while doing this move. Uchiha Madara's pupils shrank, and then he used Shenluo Tianzheng without hesitation. Since you don't hide, let's try it out. I am in the state of impure world reincarnation. However, Uchiha Madara's Shenluo Xianzheng was offset by the Shenluo Xianzheng released by Uchiha Itachi on the side. Made Uchiha Madara frown. 146. Found Otsutsuki Yuya? The huge meteorite fell on the lake in the Valley of the End. But fortunately, the lake is big enough that meteorites can't crash it. However, the waves brought up by the impact were overwhelming, rushing towards the surroundings in all directions. The first generation had to leave the lake and come to land, using Wood Style to block the impact of the waves. But with Uzumaki Mizuki and Kagaya floating in midair, it doesn't matter. No Uzumaki Mizuki shot. Kagaya launched the impact of her own eyes slightly, and blocked the lake water. The ground shook. The 3 of them seemed to be hit by a meteorite. But in fact, at the last moment, Fugaku opened the door of space, took his son directly, left the coverage area, and appeared on the shore. Uchiha Madara was hit by a meteorite. Soon, the second one also fell. This time it was really like an earthquake. The force of the impact is transmitted directly to the surroundings. The edge of the lake split open, and the lake overflowed. But no one lives around, so Uzumaki Mizuki doesn't care. He is not interested in protecting this kind of scenery. Very strong. Kagaya looked at these people. It feels strong. Enough to be a warrior of the Otsutsuki clan. Unexpectedly, these inferior products actually possess such strength. What they lack is power, not the potential to exert power. Think of a way, cultivate a little more, and I don't have to spend time running around. Uzumaki Mizuki to Kagaya. Now the only one who can cultivate these people on a large scale is Kagaya-ji. She has the most complete cells of the Otsutsuki family. But Orochimaru couldn't study it thoroughly. Uzumaki Mizuki is not everything to force others to do. He is not interested in forcing others to do something if he is not threatening himself. Kagaya-ji didn't speak, but she knew that Uzumaki and Mizuki were hinting at her. Boom. Advertisement. But at this time, Uchiha Madara also rushed out from the bottom of the lake. Although he was hit by Tengai Shinsei, he is in a state of impure world reincarnation, so he is not afraid to be. Rinnegan's time-space technique. Uchiha Madara looked ugly. He felt that he really didn't have that kind of dominance power anymore. These two people from the Uchiha family, if they were alone, they would definitely not be his opponents, but if they were combined, it would be really difficult for him to deal with. However, I am now in the state of impure world reincarnation, unlimited chakra, and chakra will eventually run out one day. Give up, people of the Uchiha clan, follow me, I will do better than the king of Uruk, and change this world into a new world. Uchiha Madara started to use infinite Tsukuyomi to engage in MLM. But what greeted him was densely packed shurikens flying over. No ninjutsu is used, because everyone knows that Rinnegan can absorb ninjutsu. However, the shuriken was also restrained by Shenluo Tianzhong. You don't even have 1/10 of the king's strength. Fugaku stood not far from Uchiha Madara and said very calmly. One is a boss who can tell at a glance that he has a bright future, and the other looks like he is about to die at any moment. Who to choose? Then, don't regret it. Uchiha Madara's face turned hard. He thought, get the Rinnegan from these two, and then find someone to use Rinne Tensei to resurrect himself. The current him is not in his heyday, probably only displaying less than 80% of his strength. Wheel tombs are unavailable. Then, the three continued to fight. First generation is very cool to watch. It didn't take long for Uzumaki Mizuki to feel bored. Just like boxing, see who finds the opportunity first. In the end, it was Uchiha Itachi who got his chance. Using his Rinnegan's time-space technique, he blocked Uchiha Madara's attack, and was stabbed by the sudden 10-fist sword. Uchiha Madara directly lost the ability to resist. It's not bad. Before Uchiha Madara, the main lack is the amount of chakra. See if you can find Orochimaru to improve slowly, and you can also practice 100 healings mark. Uzumaki and Mizuki only showed up after the battle was over. Uchiha Madara looked calm, he can accept failure. Asking for flowers. Yes, king, advertisement. Both Fugaku and Itachi responded respectfully. Are you the king of Uruk? A brat. On Uchiha Madara's side, I can't move my body, but I can still see Uzumaki Mizuki. You are the strongest one among those who were released by Impure World Reincarnation. Do you have a feeling? Who sent you to Impure World Reincarnation? Uzumaki Mizuki didn't mean to answer, and asked directly. Why should I tell you? Speak up, I'll tell you about Black Zetsu. Madara was just about to ridicule and vent her unhappiness. But Uzumaki Mizuki's words directly stunned him. You. Uchiha Madara had bad eyes. Say it quickly, do you want to be deceived by lies for the rest of your life? Uzumaki Mizuki means no nonsense. No, after being awakened by Impure World Reincarnation, everything is normal. Then he asked Kagayaheim behind him, but then, Kagaya-ji's palm grew a thin channel like a blood vessel, which connected to Uchiha Madara's body. Uchiha Madara said with a frown, tried that before, but found nothing. After about a minute, Kagaya-ji's face was startled. Try to see if you can feel the position of Otsutsuki Yuya from him. The breath of my rebellious son enters. Black Zetsu is her doppelganger, not yours. You just got tricked. Infinite Tsukuyomi plan is just to let her out, that's the truth. What did you say? He just wanted to die and understand, so he didn't mean to waste time, it didn't make sense, so he said it directly. Found it, in terms of chakra, he is really not good at it. It would be better for this real chakra ancestor to do it. Uzumaki Mizuki speaks the truth directly to Madara. Uchiha Madara was shocked, but with Uchiha Madara, she felt it. But this is the most abnormal point, someone smoothed everything out. By Uchiha Madara's chakra, start reversing the position. 147. Come find me. Although Otsutsuki Yuya used broiler chicken as a substitute, he did not use his own chakra. But Kagaya-ji found his way through Uchiha Madara, also not through this chakra, but through the chakra left over from Indra in Uchiha Madara's body. The chakra of Indra in Uchiha Madara has been extracted by Otsutsuki Yuya, but after so many years, there is always a residue. Kagaya-ji found Otsutsuki Yuya through Indra's chakra. Naruto Uzumaki Mizuki naturally wouldn't let Kagayaheim get close, and Sasuke's side, Uzumaki Mizuki didn't want to use the child either. First generation didn't even think about it. Finally found a flaw here in Uchiha Madara. Where? Uzumaki Mizuki fixed his eyes and asked directly. For Uchiha Madara, who was still asking something, he didn't have the slightest meaning of 273. There is a weak induction in that direction, and finding him may take a while. Kagaya-ji said straight. As a rebellious son, his control over chakra is no less than her. She should have been able to directly sense the position of Otsutsuki Yuya, because after all he was created by himself. However, Otsutsuki Yuya gave up his physical body and completely became a chakra body, completely refining the chakra in his body. So she couldn't find her place as a rebel, but now, through chakra, created by his own inverse, has locked in place. However, it is very vague. It seems to be isolated by space, but this space seems to be connected to the ninja world. That's why it's very vague. Is he still necessary? Uzumaki Mizuki asked. It's Uchiha Madara on the sidelines. On Uchiha Madara's side, his face was ashen at this moment, and he didn't want to admit that he was cheated. However, now that Rinnegan is everywhere, he really can't figure it out. No, I've already got his chakra, just use this to find it. Kaguya Hime shook her head. Backstab Uzumaki Mizuki, and kill his own son. For some reason, Kaguya felt that killing her son seemed to make her feel better. At this moment, unknowingly, he worked hard. Seal him. Advertisement. Uzumaki Mizuki said directly. Itachi directly controlled the 10-fist sword held on the arm of Susanoo's skeleton, and absorbed Uchiha Madara into it. Go back and watch Naruto, Uzumaki Mizuki said to Fugaku and Itachi. Then teleport them back directly with Flying Thunder God. Now the more you use it, the faster the release speed will be. However, in actual combat, you can't achieve the same level as your own cheap father. At least it needs to be released in a time close to half a second. Try it. Can you find the position of Otsutsuki Yuya on him? Uzumaki Mizuki asked Kaguya Hime. Seeing the effect of Uchiha Madara, Uzumaki Mizuki thought it might be related to the reincarnation of Indra Ashura. After all, other Impure World reincarnation people before, he also asked Kaguya-ji to try, but they didn't find anything. It is good. Kaguya Hime nodded. Then, in the same way as Uchiha Madara, a white slender delivery tube is connected to first generation. Am I not from your Impure World reincarnation? First generation asked in confusion. But there was no conflict. He believed in Uzumaki Mizuki. All said and done. It feels that the unification of the ninja world seems to be more stable. I have this feeling too. Kaguya Hime nodded slightly to Uzumaki Mizuki. She doesn't know about reincarnation. Uzumaki Mizuki didn't tell her either. First generation, don't go back to Uruk soon. After the matter is resolved, I will take you back. Here's the money for you. Go out and gamble around, and then come back. While talking, Uzumaki Mizuki opened the king's treasure house and came out with 2 boxes of gold. Where the banknotes were placed, all of them were replaced with gold by Uzumaki Mizuki. Basically, the gold in the bank is placed in the hands of Uzumaki Mizuki. Now the mana value has directly exceeded 1 million. Give first generation 2 boxes, basically nothing will be affected. Not letting first generation go back is because I am afraid of what Otsutsuki Yuya will do. Anyway, not at home on the line, it is good, advertisement. First generation didn't ask why either. Anyway, if you have money to gamble, it is the best. Let's go and get your son. Uzumaki Mizuki got ready here and said directly to Otsutsuki Kaguya Hime. Although the distant utopia is not in hand now, it is more important to find out what Otsutsuki Yuya is doing. Kaguya-ji opened the portal directly, and the destination was the vicinity she perceived. The two directly stepped into the cracked space and disappeared in front of first generation. This is the country of ghosts. After Uzumaki Mizuki arrived, he glanced around through Tensigan and quickly determined the location. Below the country of Chuanuo, there is a small country. The country with the largest religion for witches, but after being controlled by Uruk, the original management method has not been changed, but a higher level management has been added. Over there? But Uzumaki Mizuki didn't mean to visit the scenery, and asked Kaguya Hime directly. It takes a little time, behind the space, but there seems to be a gap. Kaguya-ji said straight. At the same time, he slightly raised his hand and immediately a huge tree grew out of the ground. She was looking for where she sensed chakra through the roots of the tree. That breath is not above the ground, but below. Uzumaki Mizuki did not speak, but looked around through Tensigan and Rinnegan. At this time, it was approaching dusk, and the sky was turning yellow. Next to Naruto, there is his shadow clone, and he can know any movement. 2.8 is Kaguya-ji's side, very excited, as if about to bite. The power of nature here is a bit thick. Uzumaki Mizuki observed for a while and found this out. Others seem to be quite normal. There are no other traces, such as enchantment or something. Mother's breath. Otsutsuki Yuya woke up from the trance. The plan was clearly about to be completed, but the perception of this breath really made him unable to continue. After all, the fear of Kaguya-ji is imprinted in my heart. On the contrary, Uzumaki Mizuki, he is not too afraid. 148. Block the space and find the loopholes, confused Kaguya Hime. Close Pure Land completely, or hold on. Otsutsuki Yuya hesitated. He is now in the Pure Land, it is pitch black, basically there is not much light from the fire. At the same time, there are a large number of souls in the Pure Land. Now he is merging with these souls, shaping new bodies by himself. In essence, the soul is the same, so Otsutsuki Yuya chose to send Madara and others to Impure World reincarnation. The soul is life energy, which is a kind of natural force. Rinnegan has the ability to take away souls, human way. Now, Otsutsuki Yuya is using the natural power of these souls to shape a new body for himself. Like his mother, an immortal body. There is a gap in the Pure Land, which connects to the outside world and absorbs the force of nature to increase the speed. Enough, that's all, Otsutsuki Yuya confirmed the soul of the present Pure Land. I think it's enough for my own use, although it may be a little worse than it actually is. But facing the risk of being found by his mother, it is better to lose a little. Put your hands together and completely close the Pure Land. Then, I started to make my own body at full speed. Now the chest is up, and it has all come out to 25. The one below is still in the shape of a vague phantom, but it is still slowly appearing serious. Lost perception. Kagaya-ji frowned, and said directly to Uzumaki Mizuki. At the same time, she also opened her hand and began to perceive the chakra she had just obtained from Uchiha Madara and First Generation. But it doesn't feel like it did before. He closed the space. It seems that that place is independent, and it should be in this direction. Kagaya-hime pointed to the direction of the sunset and said to Uzumaki Mizuki. Even in the isolated space, she couldn't continue to perceive it. There must be a connection, but chakra is not yet capable of perception across space. The same is true for the flying thunder god, which cannot be perceived in another dimension. Leave the rest to me. Advertisement. Uzumaki Mizuki nodded. Then, directly opened the treasure house of the king. The dense sky locks fell directly to the bottom. He sent all the nearby residents away through the lock of the sky. After being touched by the lock of the sky, he can directly use the flying thunder god to send him to other places. Uzumaki Mizuki is ready to sweep the entire area with the deviation sword. Constantly changing locations, Uzumaki Mizuki began to transport the surrounding residents in large numbers. Fortunately, the population here is not large. Uzumaki Mizuki will only use Flying Thunder God to give away once when he touches more than 10 people in the skylock. The speed is very fast. Under the instructions of Kagaya-ji, all the people who may appear in the range were sent away. Those people haven't reacted yet, looking around blankly. Let's start. Stay away. If you are affected, I will not show mercy. Uzumaki Mizuki raised the deviant sword and said to Kagaya-ji at the same time. Unleashing this power, except for his side, other positions are very dangerous. Kagaya-ji directly lifted into the air without hesitation. She wanted to see what Uzumaki Mizuki was going to do. Tear the world apart. Uzumaki Mizuki begins to infuse magic profusely. The deviation sword made a hasty and piercing sound of choosing equipment. On the tip of the sword, a red magic ball condensed directly. At the same time, dark red swirling light streaks began to cover the surroundings. Space began to crumble. Ka. The earth split open directly. Trees were devoured, and the space around them began to shatter. The place shattered by space distortion began to gradually expand, from a basketball court to the size of a football field, and continued to expand outwards, soon reaching a range of 5 kilometers in diameter. The surrounding environment was directly cracked into pieces. Like a jigsaw puzzle broken into pieces, Kagaya-hime was in the sky, feeling threatened. She felt that if she was affected by this force, her body would also be torn apart. Although it can be recovered, it should be torn again immediately after recovery. Although she also has the power to target space, she simply cannot do the same as Uzumaki Mizuki, which can completely tear space apart. The tearing of space did not continue to expand, but downward. Advertisement. After covering about 10 kilometers in diameter, the space rift continues to explore downwards. Uzumaki Mizuki did not continue to maintain the torn space above, and moved down himself. Doing so consumes a lot of mana. There are still many places to explore, and it is necessary to prevent Otsutsuki Yuya from attacking suddenly, so no matter what, you must leave some mana for self-defense. The exploration lasted a full day. The center of the ghost country is almost directly sunken down a large piece, like a huge basin. Uzumaki Mizuki will rest when only 20% mana is left. 2 days passed, and in the place where Kagaya-ji was drawn, 200 meters underground, the entire space was torn apart. Still nothing. But Uzumaki Mizuki didn't question Kagaya-ji either. After resting, he continued to use the deviation sword to tear the space. Kagaya-ji felt a lot of pressure and couldn't find it all the time. Kagaya-ji was afraid that Uzumaki Mizuki would suddenly point the weapon at herself. So she also worked hard, by planting the roots of the tree, and began to explore the subsurface, beyond the range covered by Uzumaki Mizuki's space tier. After 2 full days like this, the ground continued to sag downward for a full 500 meters, and with the previous ones, it was already more than 700 meters. 423. Kagaya-ji felt that the surrounding space seemed to be a little unstable, and there was a feeling that it could be broken with any force. This way, the breath of life here is very strong. While Uzumaki Mizuki continued to use the deviation sword, Kagaya-hime made a discovery here. She is under a lot of pressure. It's been almost 5 days. Nothing was found. She was really afraid that Uzumaki Mizuki would think she was cheating on him. So work hard. Through the technique of planting trees, she discovered that some parts of the roots absorb more intense natural power than other places. The difference has doubled. In this environment, it is somewhat conspicuous. Is it down here? Uzumaki Mizuki is also a bit distraught these days. However, he didn't think that Kagaya-ji was deceiving himself. Whoever she teams up with, it won't be with Otsutsuki Yuya. This kind of rebellious child, Kagaya-ji didn't want to kill him, and Uzumaki Mizuki looked down on her. Well, the power of life is very strong, just this tension. Kagaya-ji said hastily. In the Otsutsuki family, the power of nature is regarded as the power of life, the power that can make the sacred tree grow. 149. The decisive battle begins, versus Otsutsuki Yuya. Uzumaki Mizuki sensed it, and found that it was indeed as Kagaya-ji said, the force of nature here is a little stronger. The power of nature around here has been taken away by the fragmented space, and the places that are much richer than the normal power of nature are somewhat conspicuous. Boom! Uzumaki Mizuki used Tensigen to release a strong repulsive force, directly opening a huge hole in the ground. It was discovered that under this passage, the power of nature is much thicker than the kingdom of ghosts, which already has more power of nature. Step aside. Uzumaki Mizuki to Kagayaheim. Then he raised the deviation sword and directly condensed the mana value. Inject 100,000 mana at one time, then release it immediately. The dark red light instantly pierced through the place where the power of nature is strong, rushing all the way down. About 2 seconds later, both Uzumaki Mizuki and Kagayaheim looked surprised. Both of them felt the powerful force of nature. Uzumaki Mizuki put on the gold armor directly. Rinnegan Tensigen appears directly behind. Your son must have someone behind him, so be careful. Uzumaki Mizuki didn't let Kagayaheim go. At this moment, Kagayaheim is considered to be in a good state of mind if he didn't rush directly to attack Otsutsuki Yuya. Okay. Kagayaheim was slightly agitated, she couldn't wait to see the expression on her face when she saw her. Uzumaki Mizuki was the first to rush down the hole opened by the deviation sword. Kagaya-ji followed closely behind. How could it be so fast? On Otsutsuki Yuya's side, his expression was ugly. But he has already completed half of the body, about to the position of the navel. The hands are done, but the lower body is not, just missing the legs. He was already very sloppy, using the power of Yongdun to make it quickly. However, it was still found. Uzumaki Mizuki and Kagaya-ji, too, quickly entered the top 10. Kagaya-ji opened the portal directly and locked the position of Otsutsuki Yuya. Soon, the three met. Advertisement, it seems that you are indeed stronger than your mother. Although I don't know what's behind, it's definitely not easy. On Uzumaki Mizuki's side, Taffin looked at Otsutsuki Yuya indifferently. He didn't do it right away, but slowly opened a large number of passages to the king's treasure house. At the same time, I am waiting to confirm who is Otsutsuki Yuya's backhand, so that I can exchange for suitable equipment from the system. I didn't want to be your enemy, why should I press on every step of the way? Otsutsuki Yuya looked at Uzumaki Mizuki. His face was a little helpless, and at the same time a little indignant. If my brother isn't involved, I'm naturally not interested in caring about you. Based on your growth rate, you can't keep up with me, and you won't be able to survive a move under my hands in a short time. Uzumaki Mizuki said very directly. At the same time, he was holding the deviant sword, ready to strike at any time. The sword of vowed victory is placed in the treasure house of the king, which increases the strength of the Urin sword. If Otsutsuki Yuya has no other backup, but his strength becomes stronger, then he will not hesitate to exchange for the distant Utopia and put it in the treasure house of the king. With the sword of vowed victory, it is instantly upgraded to the X level, directly strengthening the power of a wave of deviant swords. Although I don't know where you came from in the universe, it seems that you shouldn't be in a place that mother is afraid of. Besides, you are too arrogant. Although the current me has not recovered my body, my strength has far surpassed the original me. Otsutsuki Yuya said, looking at Uzumaki Mizuki coldly. He abandoned his old body because he knew that if he had been like that all along, he would not be able to surpass his mother. In order to gain stronger power, he also wants to start from the source of chakra, the force of nature. Transform your body to be completely composed of natural forces. But this is not easy, after all, the Otsutsuki family can only use the power of nature safely through the sacred tree. Immortal art only involves 1/3 of the power of nature, and its power is several times stronger than that of normal chakra. At that time, he was able to seal his mother because he had practiced fairy art and became stronger. Otherwise, relying on Rinnegan alone, his strength is not enough to seal his mother. Therefore, he wants a body that can freely use the power of nature. That's all he's prepared for. Uzumaki Mizuki did not reply. But Kagayaheim couldn't help it. She directly used the co-killing ashes, and rushed towards herself, the rebel. Snapped. However, Otsutsuki Yuya actually caught 2 rounds empty-handed and killed the ashes. Impossible. Advertisement. Kagayaheim looked shocked. This is her strongest ultimate move, even if she is hit, her body will be shattered. But it can be quickly regenerated and recovered through Yang escape. However, it is absolutely impossible to catch it empty-handed like Nizi, without any damage. Master, we are a family, aren't we? Now I don't need to seal my mother anymore. I will deal with this outsider, and it's fine for my mother to watch from the sidelines. I don't think Mrs. Mother should be the kind of existence who would obediently follow behind such a person. It's up to me to help my mother get rid of it, Otsutsuki Yuya said very arrogantly. After so many years of hiding, he was tired of it. Since someone is looking for death, don't blame him then. At this time, the appearance of Otsutsuki Yuya is exactly the same as when he was young, instead of the chakra state, the old appearance. Looks a bit evil. I'm procrastinating. It seems that absorbing the calendar of nature is very important to you. Uzumaki Mizuki has not made a move and is also waiting. So, it's time to move. However, I don't have time to wait any longer, so let's end the battle here. In fact, on his side, Uzumaki Mizuki's strength is also somewhat unpredictable. Restore mana. The force of nature flooded indirectly from the space shattered by Uzumaki Mizuki. Sage mode power on. PS. The third change. Thank you for your flowers and evaluation tickets, stable updates, safe collection. Please subscribe. Please ask for monthly tickets. Just now, Hao Zhao has recovered to about 80%. As soon as the voice fell, the densely packed skylocks rushed directly towards Otsutsuki Yuya. So I dare not do it in advance. The repulsive force blocked all the locks of the sky. This place is so rich, he can also maintain this state for a long time. Some have no scruples. As soon as Otsutsuki Yuya raised his hand, he directly directed Shinra Tianzheng. On Uzumaki Mizuki's side, he also started to snatch the natural calendar without being polite. I have been speeding up the speed of absorbing the power of nature, thinking how strong it is. The decisive battle officially begins. 150. The real purpose of Sage of Six Paths. Dense sky locks rushed towards Otsutsuki Yuya in the distance. But on his side, he didn't do it himself. When he raised his hand, a lot of arcs formed behind him and rushed out. Form a power grid to block the attack of the skylock. The powerful collision caused a huge impact in this extremely dark world. But here is all soil, no living things at all. The soul has been absorbed by Otsutsuki Yuya, and it is ready to be refined. There is no extra. Except for Kagaya-ji, it basically didn't affect anyone else. Tear him apart. Heaven and earth, leave Pijishing. Without any hesitation, Uzumaki Mizuki opened the ult directly. The dark red energy rushed straight out from the tip of the deviation sword. The powerful impact instantly emptied the surrounding air, and plunged into a vacuum at once, without any sound being heard. The surrounding space was torn apart in an instant, and the grid arranged by Otsutsuki Yuya was destroyed. Otsutsuki Yuya's pupils shrank. Last time, he fell under the attack of this weapon. This time, he didn't choose to fight hard. However, the surrounding space has been disturbed by this force, and he cannot use the time-space technique to leave. The location that can be moved is only in this area, and it has no effect at all, because it is completely within the coverage area. On Kagaya-ji's side, there really wasn't any movement. She was a little moved by the words of her own son, 607. Still, backstab Uzumaki Mizuki, now she dares not do it. Looking at the dark red light, she felt heart palpitations. Boom. The dark red energy exploded. The surrounding space is broken into pieces. But Uzumaki Mizuki didn't stop, and continued to hold the deviant sword. He wants to kill this piece of pure land at once. Just like last time against Otsutsuki Yuya. Otsutsuki Yuya was not killed immediately. Although he cannot move in time and space, he is not life-threatening if he is not directly hit. Spread the Susanoo straight out to secure a large space. At the same time, release your own power to stabilize this piece of space debris. Ka. However, the surrounding space gradually began to shatter. The entire pure land began to be affected. Uzumaki Mizuki looked at Otsutsuki Yuya coldly, without any intention of stopping. Although it is impossible to destroy the world now. Advertisement, but destroying this location is relatively simple. Just enough mana. After opening the fairy technique, the recovery speed is accelerated, and it can be fully recovered in basically half an hour. This power. Otsutsuki Yuya had an ugly face. His Susanoo is constantly being crushed. However, it was barely maintained when he poured in a steady stream of strength. This is still the case that he can use the space ability, his Rinnegan, which is infinitely close to the reincarnation Sharingan. This pure land space was created by him. It is different from the space seal of the planetary devastation, and it is a space opened up separately. In the ninja world, only Kagaya-ji has such strength. However, he felt that he couldn't hold on for too long. Obviously, he still has so many powers that he hasn't had time to use. However, it is useless now. The space is broken. His ability can't break through the broken space to attack Uzumaki Mizuki at all. The two sides were almost disconnected at the physical level, and the sound could not be transmitted. This is the power of the space system. On Otsutsuki Yuya's side, they originally thought about using stronger ninjutsu and faster attacks to deal with Uzumaki Mizuki. But when he didn't hit Uzumaki Mizuki the first time, getting close to him, it was over. King of Heroes, you are not joking. As long as you don't wave, you are the strongest. Rely on this weapon. Although Kagaya-ji's side was not the main attack direction, it was also affected. She kept retreating, for fear of being affected. Smash it completely. Uzumaki Mizuki speeds up mana infusion. The pieces of space debris that have been broken into pieces are being shattered. He wants to completely turn this piece into nothingness. Although I don't know if I can kill Otsutsuki Yuya completely. However, as long as 2 more years, CFFI, are given, his strength will become stronger. So, just F*K him to death. Do not, Otsutsuki Yuya, too, sensed that death was coming. Obviously, my body is almost finished. At this time, the strength has also become extremely strong, and he can even catch his mother's ashes with his bare hands. However, don't give him a chance to show it, advertisement. He knew that if he died this time, he would really die. If I die, your brother will die too. Otsutsuki Yuya knew that voice could not pass through, so he used lip language. He knew that Uzumaki Mizuki would definitely be able to see. And Uzumaki Mizuki did see it, read the lip language, and looked a little struggling. Don't bet. Seeing the Pure Land, he knew that he might not be able to stabilize Naruto's resurrection through Rinnegan. Just such a brother. Uzumaki Mizuki gave up increasing his attack, and kept suppressing Otsutsuki Yuya to the extent that he would not be able to recover, but he would not be able to kill him directly. Otsutsuki Yuya also felt that the pressure was gradually decreasing, but he did not reach a safe place. Knowing that it worked, Yuya was overjoyed. Let me go, I will never do anything to your brother, I will leave the ninja world and change places. Otsutsuki Yuya wants to negotiate, but Uzumaki Mizuki directly increased the magic release. In an instant, half of Susanoo's body was swallowed. Otsutsuki Yuya was so scared that he almost gave up resisting. He knew that the request had failed. Uzumaki Mizuki renounced the destruction of the entire Pure Land, and only maintained the fragmentation of the space around Otsutsuki Yuya. Just about the same as recovery and consumption, so he can afford it. How are you going to deal with my brother, tell me? Uzumaki Mizuki said directly, he really couldn't find the problem. The only suspect, Nine Tails, was also locked up. The rest can only be related to the soul, place where Ashura's massive chakra is placed. Soul, after I die, your brother's soul will also be shattered. Just like my mother, if I killed my mother at the beginning, I would die too, so I can only seal it, because Hamura and I were both made by my mother. But now, I have given up the body that my mother gave me, and changed my soul. Therefore, my ability is not restricted, and this is my ultimate goal. Otsutsuki Yuya quickly explained. Originally, he didn't take this matter as a handle. But the person in front of him doesn't care about other matters, only this younger brother. Or he exposed it himself, so, he had to take advantage of this. 151. After hiding for so long, I hid myself to death. Is what he said true? Uzumaki Mizuki is asking Kagayaheim. After he didn't smash the surrounding environment, it has been slowly repaired. At least it is connected with Kagaya-ji, so, the sound is still there, passed through. It is true. Kagayaheim nodded. After she came out, she wondered why she couldn't lock her son's location. From Black Zetsu, she didn't quite believe it when she knew about the death of her own son. Moreover, if it wasn't for this, why would she worry about her two sons? Who knew that he still found a way to seal himself and seize his own power? Do you have a solution? Uzumaki Mizuki continued to ask. He doesn't like to be threatened. If Kagaya-ji can handle it, nature is the best. I can't do it, now he's out of my control, I don't even know how he did it. Kagayaheim shook her head. She was not happy at all for being so capable as a rebellious son. Originally, it was just to be a toolman, and they couldn't be backstabbed because if they died, they would die too. Unexpectedly, it was sealed. Careless, she was raised from a young age, but she was so easily fooled by others. I am still too merciful. On Otsutsuki Yuya's side, his expression was calm. It's the only way to gamble now. If Uzumaki Mizuki stops, after the space is restored, he will immediately attack Uzumaki Mizuki. You shouldn't have waited just now, you should take the initiative to attack. Is that all? Is there no other way? Uzumaki Mizuki turned his head and continued to ask Otsutsuki Yuya. After reading the lips, Otsutsuki Yuya stared blankly. What else is needed? He really didn't have time to get his hands on Uzumaki Mizuki. Including, threats to Uzumaki Mizuki may not necessarily succeed. His soul has changed, he has merged with so many ninja souls, he is already a completely different species, and he doesn't know if it will affect the souls of Chandra and Ashura. I completely disappeared, and he will die with him. Advertisement Otsutsuki Yuya can only say so emphatically. At the same time, he himself is also trying his best to break the fragmentation of this space. However, his power only comes from the life force of this planet, that is, the force of nature. But the power of the deviant sword is the emperor who destroys the world. The two sides are not on the same level, just like Kaioshin in God of Destruction. Poor grade. I bought my brother's life, but now, I'm going to prepare one more move, and try to see if you are really that powerful. While Uzumaki Mizuki was talking, he exchanged for the distant utopia from the system mall. Otsutsuki Yuya read Uzumaki Mizuki's lips, and couldn't help but feel a little bit overwhelmed. What does it mean to buy a life? Boom! Uzumaki Mizuki forked a shadow clone. At the same time, this shadow clone is holding a scabbard in his hand, as well as a talisman that breaks the commandments of all things. Then, use Flying Thunder God directly, and disappear beside Uzumaki Mizuki. Both Otsutsuki Yuya and Kagaya-ji couldn't figure out what Uzumaki Mizuki was doing, so they couldn't help but panic. In less than 5 minutes, a handful of kunai appeared beside Uzumaki Mizuki. This is sent by Shadow Clone. Yinwu means ready. Over there, Shadow Clone has unfolded the distant utopia, turned it into hundreds of fragments, and wrapped Naruto, who had fallen asleep due to the illusion, into it. This noble phantasm enables the holder to be protected from all physical disturbances in the fairy township, and to reach the noble phantasm of the magic field. All physical disturbances, interference from parallel worlds, and the strongest protection known in this world form a connection and absolute defense that even the 5 major magics cannot touch. A defense that even a deviant sword can't break through. Moreover, the resurrection armor that Uzumaki Mizuki exchanged directly for the resurrection of his parents, the guardian angel, was also put on Naruto by Uzumaki Mizuki. 2 defenses. There is also the talisman that breaks the commandments of all things. Some strange power really follows the past and can be broken together. If you don't want to die, just leave here. Next, I will completely destroy this space. Uzumaki Mizuki said to Kagaya-ji on the side. Kagaya-ji was taken aback, wondering why Uzumaki Mizuki changed so quickly. It seems to have something to do with the shadow clone just now. She bit her lip, and finally felt that Uzumaki Mizuki was more reliable. At least follow him, he should not die. Believe that her son will work hard with Uzumaki Mizuki, she will not be able to do it. He ran away without hesitation, under the desperate eyes of Otsutsuki Yuya. Let's show your power. Uzumaki Mizuki stares at Otsutsuki Yuya. Then he opened the 100 healings mark without hesitation, which is his backhand. Advertisement: he has stored about 200,000 mana points, and now he will release them all at once. Seeking Flowers 0. The dark red spell seal was directly displayed on his collarbone, cheeks, and neck, as if a curse seal had been opened. Do not. Otsutsuki Yuya felt hopeless. Obviously, his strength has not had time to show up yet. He is not willing to die like this. However, the world around him quickly shattered and disappeared like particles, making it impossible for his voice to be transmitted. Susanoo was shattered in an instant, it was impossible to resist. Otsutsuki Yuya tried his best to use Rinnegan's space power to maintain the surrounding space without being smashed. But the Pure Land began to disappear. It lasted 10 minutes. Not the slightest sound came out. Otsutsuki Yuya only has the space left for his upper body, and he can continue to maintain it. Other places have completely turned into nothingness and are very dark. This is the last. Uzumaki Mizuki pointed at Otsutsuki Yuya with his deviant sword. A red light pierced through his forehead directly. The shattered space instantly inhales everything here. The entire Pure Land has become nothingness. On the side of Uruk Royal City, Uzumaki Mizuki's shadow clone is holding the talisman that breaks the commandments of all things, and at the same time, a pair of Rinnegans are opened behind him, inspecting the surrounding situation. Nothing happened. This was the case until the return of Uzumaki Mizuki himself. Uzumaki Mizuki took a special look at Sasuke, alive and kicking. Either he didn't die, or he has changed himself and completely got rid of his original self, so this ability doesn't work anymore. Uzumaki Mizuki said with some relief, although it is a gamble. It seems that I am lucky. In fact, for Otsutsuki Yuya, besides using the soul to reshape the body, he is also ready to take back the power of Indra and Ashura and integrate it into his body. He didn't want to give up these 2 powers, so he divided them into the bodies of his 2 sons and let them continue to practice and strengthen this power. At the same time, on the side of Tail Beast, he also dispersed the core of 10 tails. At that time, as long as he gets 1/3 of the Tail Beast, he can use these cores to complete the 1 tail. However, Otsutsuki Yuya, it was too late to implement these plans. With so much preparation, it is better to start early, so as to be safe. 152. Expansion: the Gate of Otherworld. 6 years passed quickly. Uzumaki Mizuki did not find any more information about Otsutsuki Yuya. Some time ago, Naruto and Sasuke were just strengthened to the 6 pads level. Except for the 9 tails in Naruto, all other tailed beasts are drawn out. Including the ones in my cheap father's body, all injected on Geto statue. At that time, Kagaya-ji was watching from the sidelines, and almost wanted to do it. But in the end, I was still scared. For 6 years, Uzumaki and Mizuki hadn't made a move. Kagaya-hime has no idea about Uzumaki Mizuki's strength. However, Kagaya-ji was still very afraid of the destruction of the Pure Land before. In the end, I was cowardly. In the end, they could only cooperate with Uzumaki Mizuki to draw out the power of 10 tails and pass it on to Naruto and Sasuke. And Neji and Toneri. The qualifications of the 2 of them are indeed very good. And their eyes also exchanged with each other. After getting the 10 tails chakra, albeit only temporarily, let 883 activate their Tensigen. At the same time, the physical fitness has been greatly improved. This is why Otsutsuki Momoshi never forgets the fruit of the sacred tree, and has been looking for it for so many years. Because it works great, it is mainly the power of yin and yang escape, which is the most important. Next is the massive chakra. 10 tails originally wanted to be used by Naruto, but was rejected by Naruto. So in the end it was placed in Uzumaki Mizuki's King's Curry. The greedy Kagaya-ji had no choice but to sigh. However, today several important people gathered together for the sake of business is another matter. Wong, although Uruk has entered the road of rapid development, it is still too early for another unknown world. It is Uchiha Fugaku who speaks. The discussion this time is about invading another world. The ninja world has reached its limit. Uzumaki Mizuki naturally wants to score more points. For example, for things like infinite gems, the exchange price is far more expensive than X treasures. The points saved over the years, in addition to being exchanged for a treasure, the rest are used to open the portal to another world. Opportunity for any world portal. It can be opened for a long time, but it only costs Uzumaki Mizuki's mana. The consumption is not large. The matter was brought up for discussion. Because management after invading the world requires someone to do it. They are ready for Uzumaki Mizuki to handle. You can collect intelligence first, so you don't have to do it so quickly. Advertisement. Send a few people first to investigate the situation, confirm the strength, and then make detailed plans. I can act as a pioneer and investigate in the past. Orochimaru spoke. At this time, he has a Sharingan and a blank eye. And that Sharingan is still Mangekyo Sharingan. This was stimulated by himself, and it was not easy to obtain the collection. White eyes are white eyes, no other special abilities. He is very interested in Otherworld. Recently, his research has also reached a bottleneck. It is not that simple to completely perfect the genes and reach the 6 paths level. Keeps failing. This difficulty cannot be overcome casually. I think Orochimaru has a good idea, Hyuga Heishi spoke. Neji turned on the Tensigan, but let him loose. After all, before the Uchiha family, 2 pairs of Rinnegan put a lot of pressure on him. They are all from the same ancestor, why is there such a big difference? But recently, there is one more person with Rinnegan, but give him extreme. This time he went to Otherworld, he wanted to get more benefits. Ambition amplified by Uzumaki Mizuki's decentralization. Occupying more resources is everyone's approach, but now Uruk basically has no room for development. Moreover, Wang's father, Namikaze Minato, began to suppress these families. The civilian forces began to have people in power, and gradually began to replace them. Now that there is a new territory, Hyuga Heishi naturally wants to grab it and get greater benefits. I agree with Orochimaru's idea too. Nara Shirju also followed suit. Most of the supporters are family forces. As for the civilian forces, Minato has the final say, but he has no choice but to do what his son wants to do, so he just keeps quiet and gives the greatest support. On Fugaku's side, he seeks stability. There are now 3 Rinnegans in the Uchiha family, it really makes him feel swollen. No matter how the civilian forces catch up, they can't compare, so he naturally doesn't want to involve risks. In 3 days, I will open the portal. Orochimaru, Kagaya Haim, Uchiha Itachi, Hyuga Neji, these 4 people set out with me in advance. Uzumaki Mizuki finally decided, he didn't dare to be arrogant in the past. Who knows what kind of world it is? Low Wu or High Wu? Is it a starburst at every turn, the same as Dragon Ball? Or is it the world of science and technology, the kind where Gundams fly all over the sky? Definitely risky. This world doesn't work, so just wait a year and change the portal. Advertisement anyway, it's random, but I didn't know where it was in the past. Yes. When Uzumaki Mizuki speaks, everyone dare not have any opinions. Although he doesn't show up much at ordinary times, Uzumaki Mizuki's opinions have been promoted as the spiritual symbol of the entire Uruk Empire. The most important thing is that no one dares to provoke the Vortex Water Pair. I'm afraid I think I haven't lived long enough, brother, why don't you take me there? My strength is also very powerful now. After Naruto heard the news, he couldn't help but come here. Now his strength is indeed one of the best in the ninja world, and he is already practicing the Flying Thunder God technique. After this learning, basically few people can suppress him. There are still foreign enemies in the ninja world, and we can't take everyone away. Now your strength is top-notch, and Sasuke is optimistic about the ninja world. The enemy is not weak. They're the existence that Kagaya-ji fears, and they need reliable people to take care of them. Uzumaki Mizuki looked at this younger brother who was as tall as himself, and he still liked to cling to himself as before, a little disrespectful. Then speak up and say why. But this reason is also Hiroto's. Otsutsuki Momo style did not come so quickly. Moreover, a very powerful base has been established on the moon, which can monitor the movements of the entire galaxy. Otsutsuki Peach style is coming, sure to spot it early. That's it. Okay, when you're not around, brother, Uruk will be guarded by me. Naruto was a little reluctant when he heard the reason. Then he patted his chest and said very hard, the other 3 have different faces. 2.3. P.S. The third change. Thank you for your flowers and evaluation tickets, stable updates, safe collection, please subscribe and ask for monthly tickets. Let's go, I want to be praised by my big brother. The others quickly followed, then an irregular square portal opened here. On Uzumaki Mizuki's side, throw 2 rocks like magnets on the ground. It's up to you, Naruto. Itachi and Neji are serious, while Orochimaru is impatient. 3 days later, a group of people going to Otherworld gathered together. With Minato and Fugaku watching, the 4 disappeared in front of them. Kagaya-ji is reluctant, she has nothing to do these years, she has been somewhat assimilated by the recently emerging otaku culture. Watching TV at home, playing various tapes, very happy. The 2 stones split directly, Uzumaki Mizuki said very cooperatively. Uzumaki Mizuki walked over directly. Unlike Kagayaji's portal, this one is like a vortex, but it's different from a black hole because it's blue. 153. Shinigami, forest. After passing through the portal, the scene was changed immediately. It is a forest. Orochimaru was very excited and began to observe the surrounding trees and soil. At the same time, dozens of white phosphorus snakes were released from under the sleeves to explore the surroundings. Blind eyes. Neji was very serious. He opened his eyes and observed the surrounding situation. Uchiha Itachi also looked alert. After all, no one knows where it is. Kagayaji also looked around curiously. She has not actually been to a few worlds. She has only been to the ninja world since she left the Otsutsuki clan. Everyone was groping slowly with a vigilant and excited attitude. Uzumaki Mizuki also used Tensagen's perspective ability to observe the surrounding situation. Modern society? It's still a day-to-day environment. Uzumaki Mizuki soon discovered that they were on a hill very close to the city. Looking at this environment, it looks like a modern Japanese bomb. It's not a world of fairy tales, ghosts, or high-tech. This was a relief for 25 Uzumaki Mizuki. When encountering these two kinds, it is the most troublesome. This kind of seemingly normal, the degree of danger is not so high. Kagayaheim, turning into an ordinary person, you are too conspicuous. Uzumaki Mizuki orders Kagayaheim. The main reason for taking her with me was that I was afraid that staying in Uruk would cause some bad intentions. Now in Uruk, Naruto Sasuke is the strongest, followed by others. So he can come out with peace of mind, otherwise, he is ready to bring Naruto along. But probing the outside world is also dangerous. The portal has a 10-day cooldown and cannot be used for fast travel. So it's safer for him to investigate first. Kagayaheim was helpless. But I'm used to listening to Uzumaki Mizuki's orders. She does not use the transformation technique either. The body shrinks directly and automatically in a different position from ordinary people. The hair is also shortened, and instead of mopping the floor with long hair, it reaches the waist position. The two corners of the head were also retracted, and the forehead became flat. Including clothes. They all directly changed into a modern look, probably similar to a witch's costume. Advertisement. The clothes of the few of you are also changed, and they are similar to the usual ones. There should be no fighting here in a short time. Uzumaki Mizuki then greeted the others. The three of them quickly used the transformation technique to change their clothes. Then Uzumaki Mizuki took the lead and walked down the mountain. Several other people followed behind Uzumaki Mizuki on full alert, not daring to relax in the slightest. After entering the city, several people relaxed a little. Doesn't look like a dangerous place. I also saw a lot of people along the way, and they seemed to be human beings. But only Orochimaru, looking at these humans, felt a little salivating. He wants to get the body of a person in this world and do experiments to see if the genes will be different, including organs and so on. Uzumaki and Mizuki led a group of people, and I found a gang gathering point. Discovered by Tensagen. Don't kill them, just teach them a little lesson. In the case of several gangsters staring at them with bad eyes. Uzumaki Mizuki gave orders directly. It was Orochimaru who did it, and he couldn't bear it anymore. Seeing Orochimaru make a move, the others didn't make a move and just watched from the sidelines. Orochimaru beat the group of gangsters gathered in the corner of the alley to the ground. Uzumaki Mizuki opened his hand, took out 2 gold bars directly, and held them in his hands. Then throw it directly on the ground. Take out your money and exchange it. Uzumaki Mizuki said very indifferently, I came here to exchange money. He is a reasonable person, and he is ready to spend money on food and drink. I took more than 1 million banknotes and left directly, which is about 100,000 in RMG. 2 gold bars are a lot. It's just that these gangsters were beaten for nothing, which made them a little scared. Thought it was a robbery. Unexpectedly, the gold was returned, and it was more than the money taken away. The most important thing is, why is that guy who looks like a woman so flexible and has such weird moves? Orochimaru managed to collect hair and blood, everyone has it, and he carefully put it in a jar for storage. Then, Uzumaki Mizuki was very skillful, took a few people directly to the big shopping mall, and changed into a set of modern clothes. Then I skillfully bought foreign fast food and ate it while walking. On the commercial street, a few people attracted the attention of many young girls. Uzumaki Mizuki, Neji, and Itachi are all beautiful boys, especially Uzumaki Mizuki. Kagayaji is also very attractive, and people keep taking out their mobile phones to take pictures of them. Advertisement seeing the mobile phone, Uzumaki Mizuki also hurried over, and the Japanese bought one. Then skillfully tinkered. Orochimaru et al. Have found that Uzumaki and Mizuki are very skilled. But no one dared to open their mouths, and silently pressed their phones while receiving text messages from here. Although the sounds are similar, the writing is different. Uruk also has a mobile phone, but it is relatively primitive, the one with a black and white screen, and the one I have in my hand now is very fresh. Without Superman, Iron Man, Ultraman and monsters, is this a normal world? Uzumaki and Mizuki, after reading the news on the phone. He didn't find the information he wanted to find. Everything is normal, just like on Earth. Nothing special at all. Is it a world of scoring points? But here, it seems to be a bit small. It's not like a big world. It's only as big as the island country 260. On Uzumaki Mizuki's side, the blind spot was also quickly discovered. On the map, there is only the island country and the whole world is not big. Slightly smaller than Ninja World, but the population is more than that of Ninja World. The points consumed by the portal are only 1 billion, which is not high. If you control the world, you can earn it back soon. Find a place to live, Uzumaki Mizuki said. Illusions are useless, they don't have chakra, they just use mental power to control them. However, when registering, everyone did not have an ID. Orochimaru said to Uchiha Itachi. Uchiha nodded, opened Sharingan, and easily deceived the past. Everyone found a foothold and began to rest. In the wee hours of the morning, Uzumaki Mizuki stood on the balcony of his room on the 3rd floor, looking at the starry sky. Thinking back to my memory, which world is most similar to this place? But it's too common, and there is no special point at all. However, when Uzumaki Mizuki was about to go to rest, he suddenly turned his head. False. Saw a weird creature floating in midair. But on the chest, there is a hollow. Discovering this made Uzumaki Mizuki smile. It seems that the king's treasury can finally be filled with some valuable things. 154. Karakura Town, troublesome characters. Orochimaru and others also discovered the creatures in the sky, standing on the roof one by one, looking at that thing. The 4 people who came over all had blood inheritance limits. There are 2 other kinds of Orochimaru and Kaguya-hime. If it is a normal eye, it is impossible to find this thing in the sky. What is this? Orochimaru's heart fluttered again. His face was a little flushed, and he was very excited. Itachi and Neji are on guard. The 2 came here with the attitude that they would sacrifice at any time. Only Kaguya-hime has curious expression, she had never seen this thing before. Shu, a creature that devours human souls and spirits. Uzumaki Mizuki was the last to reach the roof, he explained directly. Now he is not afraid of exposing anything, even if they know, so what? Hearing Uzumaki Mizuki's explanation, the expressions of the 3 became a little more serious. Creatures that specifically target human souls are not a good thing as soon as you hear them. And the void in midair was actually attracted by several people. The souls of Uzumaki, Mizuki and others are too powerful. Although they do not contain spiritual power, they are also very attractive to Shu. Seeing a few people on the roof, Shu rushed down without hesitation. It was Orochimaru who made the shot, he is most interested in stuff. However, he didn't dare to touch it with his hands, but instead used the hidden shadow snake hand, using several long white snakes, to try to catch this void. This Shu was also taken aback, it has never seen so many snakes come out of anyone's hand. Snake spirit? Like a ball of wool, it floated in midair and was instantly bound by several snakes. This vanity wants to struggle, but Orochimaru is very numb here, covering it with more snakes. I wanted to use poison, but afraid of getting killed. This thing is rare. He wanted to do an experiment, slice it up, study it carefully. There was no one on the road in the early morning, and no one noticed. After Orochimaru came to this house, he opened a basement underground with snakes and released the machine sealed in the scroll. It's not easy to drag this thing to the basement. The 4 of them didn't intend to sleep, and the 3 watched Orochimaru, slicing the virtual slice. They are also very curious, what kind of creature is this? Advertisement. This ghost let out a scream, but this sound is not heard by ordinary people. Orochimaru was very excited, cut off one piece after another, and then put it on the detection instrument to start analysis. Been a busy night. As for Uzumaki Mizuki, he didn't care so much. It doesn't do much good, he's after Shinigami's Zanpakuto. Shinigami, virtual, destroyer. If these 3 forces are resolved, the world will be finished. It's a little bit far from Karakura Town, let's go here tomorrow. Uzumaki Mizuki looked at the mobile phone map and determined the location. On the 2nd day, greet everyone directly and change positions. There are a lot of these things, just kill them and catch them later. Uzumaki Mizuki said directly to Orochimaru, who was still unwilling to kill Shu. This guy, after a busy day and night, didn't feel tired at all. Okay. Uzumaki Mizuki spoke. Orochimaru still didn't dare to refute. In the end, he decisively controlled a snake and swallowed it. He wanted to see if his snake would change. Then, Kaguya-ji, looking at the phone map, determined the location with difficulty, then opened the portal and arrived at Karakura Town. According to yesterday's situation, go to change some money, find a house, move freely during the day, and I will come back at night. After reaching Karakura Town, Uzumaki Mizuki said to Itachi. Throw him some gold bars, then arrange the people. Confirmed the situation. Now as long as he doesn't run into old man Yamamoto, Aizen, and Yuhabak, the others basically have no threat to him. After speaking, Uzumaki Mizuki left directly. Neji and Itachi didn't talk about protecting the king at all, such words can't be said. Ah, I'm so tired, when can I rest? Ichigo was jumping fast on the roof. Just got back from Soul Society. A big battle made him very excited. But he recovered again, and he felt a little bored when dealing with ordinary situations. However, this feeling of secretly saving the world made him very satisfied. Great sense of accomplishment. What? Arrive at the place where the ghost appears. An ordinary void was directly cut open by Ichigo with a single knife, and it directly turned into a spirit and merged into the world. Advertisement: it feels like Shu has appeared a little too much recently. On Ichigo's side, carrying Zangetsu on his shoulders, he said with some doubts. Much more than when he first started acting as Shinigami agent. But fortunately, the calendar is so. Okay. But suddenly, Ichigo felt palpitations. Looking up at the abandoned building, I saw a young man with blonde hair who looked about his own age, looking directly at him. Humanity? Shinigami? Ichigo was taken aback. Ordinary people cannot see spirits. Moreover, before the battle, he has the props to release ordinary people. It stands to reason that no one should appear here. The other party's sight clearly found him, but when Ichigo was watching, he found the figure had disappeared. He jumped on it, but when he arrived, there was no one there. I thought I was wrong, but I looked at the pair of footprints on the ground. It's getting weirder. Ichigo felt palpitations. Following Uzumaki Mizuki's example, Uchiha Itachi found the gangsters, knocked them down, and exchanged gold for money. On the way back, Uchiha Itachi suddenly got a tight back. His sight immediately locked on a Qian Zhao man wearing a green striped hat not far away. Not an easy role. Uchiha Itachi sensed the opponent's momentum. Similarly, Urahara Kazuki shrank his pupils and looked at Uchiha Itachi in surprise. Imaginary, Shinigami, or a full performer, such momentum? Strong. Only characters at the captain level can feel the power. But Uchiha Itachi doesn't have the habit of causing trouble, and the most important thing is to do the work arranged by the king. Seeing that the other party had no intention of doing anything, Uchiha Itachi left directly. Urahara Kazuki looked at Uchiha Itachi's figure disappearing. His face was a bit ugly. Aizen has only just turned mutiny, still haven't figured out how to solve Hueco Mundo's problem. Unexpectedly, something interesting happened again. Headache. 155. Busy Karakura town. It seems that the plot is not over yet, and Ichigo has not yet reached his peak. However, it's not just the beginning. It should be a while. I don't know if it's the Soul Society chapter or Hueco Mundo. W. At night, Uzumaki Mizuki finished his investigation and went directly to Flying Thunder God to Uchiha Itachi's side. Uchiha Itachi has already found a good house skillfully, and everyone also started their own preparations. Orochimaru started digging the basement again to prepare his research room. The power of life in this world is very strong and easy to absorb. It is really a good place. On Kagaya-ji's side, it's rare for her to take the initiative to speak. Lingza, the energy that is almost connected with the force of nature. It is very helpful to Kagaya-ji. She has not been staying at home all these years, helping Orochimaru to do research, and also obtained a lot of means from Orochimaru. At the very least, she has also mastered Sage Mode, and can absorb the power of nature to cultivate by herself. Well, the concentration is about 10 times that of a normal place in the ninja world, comparable to the land of the 3 heavenly immortals. Orochimaru also noticed this, and said directly, it made him very tempted. It feels like I've come to the right place. He still has no way to break through Sage Mode, and is still stuck on the matter of the soul. Young people don't know the value of the soul. 863, come late and watch the heart suffer. The most intense places are Soul Society and Hueco Mundo. This world is made up of 3 things. Soul Society, the present world, and Hueco Mundo, the 3 planes formed. Soul Society is where human souls live, and this world is where humans live, and Hueco Mundo is where those things caught yesterday mainly live. Soul Society and Hueco Mundo, the concentration of spiritual particles is several times higher than that of the present world. After these few days are stable, let's go and have a look. Uzumaki Mizuki explained to several people. It also doesn't make any sense to hide them. Several people can be strong, not to mention the fiercest, at least the average captain, and Espada can deal with it. After briefly introducing them to the relationship between Shinigami, Shu, and humans, Uzumaki Mizuki didn't have much to say. If you want fakes, you can catch them yourself. Usually, there are more of them at night. How to deal with it is up to you. Don't fight if I have a problem. If you can't fight, just remember to run. These words were mainly addressed to Orochimaru. Neji and Itachi are naturally not interested in finding Shu. But Orochimaru will definitely go, and Kagaya-ji is not sure. Anyway, I'm not in the ninja world, so I can tinker with CFFJ. He doesn't have any psychological burden to attack Shinigami and Shu. Yes, everyone responded quickly. Advertisement. In the evening, Uzumaki Mizuki rested directly, without the intention of being busy. Go find Urahara Kazuki tomorrow, find ways to Hueco Mundo and Soul Society. As for Orochimaru, he directly smeared and went out at night. He is going to go out for a while. Ah, but that's all. Ichigo comes out to work overtime at night. Kill Shu-jie directly with one blow. Hey, who are you? But at this time, another Shinigami suddenly appeared with an afro head. He looked at Ichigo suspiciously. Who arranged such a simple job for 2 people? Agent Shinigami, don't you know? Ichigo took out the badge of his agency Shinigami and showed it to the other party. I haven't heard of it. Are you a fake? This Shinigami asked with a puzzled look on his face. But suddenly, both of them froze. I saw a man with a pot head appear behind the 2, holding a Zanpakuto in his hand. Hirako Shinji. Ooh. The spirit being hunted down by Arankar controls Ichigo's body and runs away quickly. At the same time, they screamed. Obviously just want to take advantage of Ichigo's overtime work, come out to play around with him. Why is it such a coincidence to be targeted by Manos Grande? Too bad luck. At the same time, Ishida Uryu was also being targeted. The whole Karakura town is extremely lively at night. Everyone basically stays at home and does not go out. What an interesting world. On Orochimaru's side, Shinigami and Shu were spotted through the eyes. Seeing this situation, he didn't mean to intervene, but was slowly observing the king. Soul was saved by Ichigo's father, and Ichigo let go of Hirako's entanglement, and also rushed towards Shu. Ishida Uryu's Shu who chased him down was killed by his father. Orochimaru's white eyes are a little too much to use. Advertisement. He is carefully recording these situations so that he can analyze them. There is a kind of game player who is like playing a new game, and it is still very fun. Uzumaki Mizuki didn't expect that there would be such a lively scene on the first day after coming here. But they were all small battles, and he was not interested. Ichigo's Zanpakuto, wondering if he should grab it now. The local forces in this world are not so easy to deal with. Look at the situation first, and then choose the time to do it. One night, Orochimaru didn't catch the emptiness, the one he caught last time is still under analysis. It's basically gathering intelligence. Watching the battle between Shinigami and Shu, and the Quincy that Uzumaki Mizuki didn't mention, were also discovered by Orochimaru. Ishida Uryu's father almost discovered Orochimaru, but fortunately, Orochimaru didn't use the power of nature, that is, Spirit Suns, which are basically chakra, so they were not discovered by the Quincy master who claims to master Spirit Suns. Orochimaru was very satisfied with the harvest of one night. However, Uzumaki Mizuki and others have noticed a little bit. Because Kagaya-ji unceremoniously absorbed the spirit, the movement was not small. However, there was no false reaction, and everyone didn't know what was going on. The next day, because the snake was still working around the clock, Uzumaki and Mizuki are taking Itachi and Neji out for a stroll. Bought a handheld, and a bunch of Uzumaki Mizuki cassette, suddenly looked up. Both Itachi and Neji also reacted. A boring world. The spiritual power is so thin that it's hard to breathe. So, I am interested in going out. I thought I was dazzled, but I actually dreamed of a handsome guy during the day. This world is very busy. Itachi and Neji followed silently without any comments. Suddenly, a very powerful breath of natural force appeared. Although there are also ninjas in the ninja world, the effect is a bit poor. Although the technology is developing at full speed, this thing cannot be made immediately, and all supporting facilities must be able to keep up. On Yami's side, looking at Nana in this world is very uncomfortable. The three of them disappeared directly in front of her, startling her. Anyway, Uzumaki Mizuki is not in a hurry now, and it will take a few days for the next portal to open. Stop complaining, I didn't mean to bring you here. P.S. The third change, thank you for your flowers and evaluation tickets, stable updates, rest assured collection, please subscribe, please ask for a monthly pass. Uzumaki Mizuki smiled, after taking out a few 10,000 banknotes and handing them to the cashier who was dazzled by her opinions. Mainly, buy a game console. Ulquiorra put his hands in his pockets and said very indifferently. .156. Ferret Nejiv's Arankar. Soulsuck. The location where Yami and Ulquiorra appear is a park. It fell directly from the air and hit the ground to make a pothole. Seeing the humans around, Yami showed his eyes looking at the ants. Then, directly shrink the mouth into a chrysanthemum shape and then suck hard. Directly inhale the souls of the surrounding humans into the mouth. There are still people alive? After the inhalation, everyone fell down. However, Yami found that there was another person who was still awake, which made him a little interested. It's Arisawa Tatsuki. Looking at the fallen people around her, a look of horror appeared in her eyes. Then I saw Yami, who was like a titan, walking towards her. It's just trash, Yami, Ulquiorra said indifferently. Yami originally thought that he had found a good thing, but it turned out to be exactly as Xiao Wu said. Hands up, ready to punch this guy. Boom. The fist hit Sato Yasutora's full manifestation arm. The impact directly fractures the ground. Inoue Orihime also appeared and quickly stood in front of Long Gui. The two were very nervous, because they felt Yami's huge Ryatsu, which was full of experience. Are you going to kill this guy? Yami said carelessly. This time, I came down to solve a goal. That's rubbish, too. Ulquiorra Law is not interested in watching at all. Yami also felt that it was the case, and directly struck, and instantly abolished the arm of Sato Yasutora's full manifestation. Is this woman also trash? Yami, looking at Inoue Orihime, asked the Ulquiorra method. Well, it's rubbish too, Ulquiorra said very directly. Yami raised her hand with a smile, like a naughty child, ready to beat this woman into minced meat. But immediately, his face froze. Ulquiorra also turned away. Next to the seesaw in the park, Uzumaki Mizuki, and Itachi and Neji appear there. Itachi and Neji looked unfriendly, because many people fell around. They lived here for 2 days, knowing that these are ordinary human beings, not much different from the ninja world. And Uzumaki Mizuki also popularized with them the difference between Shinigami and virtual. Then this guy who is as tall as a titan and has hollow holes is a murderer at first glance. Advertisement, no Ryatsu? But, it feels weird. Aren't they garbage too? Yami didn't care about Inoue or Hime anymore. All eyes were on the three people who suddenly appeared. On Inoue Orihime's side, he quickly used his full manifestation technique to heal Sado Yasutora. Look very anxious. She didn't know who the three people who appeared suddenly were, but they were not virtual, they were more like human beings. Then, she felt that she should protect them. No, it's weird, but it's not like an easy character. Is the Shinigami in the Yoshikage? Ulquiorra Law finally changed his face. He looked at the three of them a little curiously. Finally made this judgment. If it is an ordinary human being, it simply cannot bear the Ryatsu of both of them. It can easily shatter their souls. Oh, looks like something interesting happened. Yami is a little bit excited. This mission would have been without him. Come along, naturally just to have fun. Now it seems that I am lucky, I just came here and met a suitable opponent. Whoosh. Who? But at this time, the day nurse also arrived. Appeared directly in front of Inoue Orihime and Sado Yasutora. Holding Zagetsu, facing Yami who is leaning sideways to him. Here comes another one, it's really interesting. On Yami's side, she smiled heartily, it's really good luck. I didn't expect to invite the telegraph when I first came here. That's right, that guy is the target this time, Yami. On Ulquiorra's side, seeing Ichigo's appearance, he recognized him immediately. Orange hair, easy to distinguish. Luck, kill him, it's over. While talking, Yami raised his hand, ready to make a fist. Bankai. Ichigo looked directly at Yami, feeling the powerful Ryatsu of the opponent, and broke out without hesitation. Let's try the opponent's strength. It's above cage level, and it should be a little bit worse than Chaoing. Uzumaki Mizuki, to Itachi and Neji, he is not interested in making a move against an opponent of this strength. Itachi and Neji haven't dealt with Ko yet, so it's good to have them both hot. Advertisement. Ask for flowers, yes, king. Itachi and Neji took the lead directly. Then, do it directly, without any nonsense, just do it. 8 trigrams air palm, great fireball technique. Both made tentative attacks first. After all, the report is unknown. Nor were they prepared to use all their strength at the outset. Itachi eyed the Ulquiorra Law. Neji's attack met Yami. The sudden attack attracted the attention of the people on the field. Yami directly raised his hand, opened his palm, and received the empty palm. Pushed him back a little. As for the Ulquiorra method, there is no hard-wired meaning. With a sudden turn, it appeared behind Itachi, holding Zanpakuto in his hand, and swung it down, ready to kill Itachi. Clang. This knife cut on Susanoo's skeleton. Uchiha Itachi's eyes also changed from Sharingan to Mangekyo. However, the ground was also slightly cracked by the gravity of the slash. Interesting, haha, really interesting, Yami here, lol. Ulquiorra's side was a bit surprised. He didn't expect that his speed would be easily reacted by others. But unexpectedly, it was pierced. Buzz. Moreover, this weird ability does not have the slightest feeling of Ryatsu, which makes him a little puzzled. Ulquiorra said in surprise. He wanted to use Ryatsu to destroy this black flame. Yami didn't even react because like Itachi, Neji didn't have any Ryatsu on him. Originally thought it was just an ordinary attack, and it was still empty-handed, how could it break his Arrancar's steel skin? Amaterasu. But suddenly, black flames burst out from Susanoo's skeleton. But, nothing works. A slap hit him directly in the abdomen. Can't be extinguished. The flames traveled directly along the skeleton, touching Zanpakuto, and spreading towards Ulquiorra Fa. 8 trigrams hyphenation point collapse mountain strike. On Neji's side, he moved closer to Yami. 157. Force back Arrancar, the goal of the ninja world. Retreat. Ulquiorra Law sensed that something was wrong. Did not continue to shoot Itachi. Instead, he appeared directly in front of Yami, held the Zanpakuto covered by Amaterasu, and forced Neji back. Then directly opened the passage to Hueco Mundo. The space is directly split up and down, like teeth. Damn it. Yami is a bit out of control here. The corner of the mouth was bleeding, and he was hit in the abdomen. It was not a minor injury by any means. He didn't expect that he would suffer such a big loss. I thought I was here for vacation, but I didn't expect that I almost lost my life. He wants to continue the fight, and is ready to return to the sword. Snapped. But Ulquiorra couldn't hit his companion directly with his left hand, which was not covered by Amaterasu. Yami nearly fainted with a punch in the stomach. Boom. However, Itachi's side, who controlled Susan, 407, to be in a skeleton state, directly pulled out the chakra sword and slashed at the two of them. Ulquiorra raised his hand, and a Sero flew from his fingertips. The collision of the two attacks directly caused a huge commotion. On the Ulquiorra side, he led Yami directly into the space crack. Calm was quickly restored on the court. Itachi turns off Mangekyo, and Susanoo also disappears. Neji retreated behind Uzumaki Mizuki and didn't say much. It was just a test, and it didn't mean to kill the other party, so Neji didn't mean to be depressed. Ichigo looked at Uzumaki and Mizuki in surprise. It's you. Recognized Uzumaki Mizuki. This golden hair is still very conspicuous. Does Ichigo-kun know them? On Inoue Orihime's side, Sado Yasutora has been healed. A little wary Uzumaki and Mizuki, the three of them, heard Ichigo's question and couldn't help but wonder. But Uzumaki Mizuki naturally would not answer. As for Itachi and Neji, their eyes were on the grove in the park beside them. The reason why he didn't continue to attack Shu just now was because he found other people appeared and his intentions were unclear. Advertisement: they don't understand everyone's strength judgment, so they are not careless. I've never seen you before, are you human? Urahara Kazuki's side, using Shunpo, appears next to Ichigo. Covering his hat, he pressed his cane to the ground with the other hand, and asked Uzumaki Mizuki and others. The world belongs to humans. Zuhei Shinigami, the future is not allowed to be so rampant in this world. Uzumaki Mizuki said coldly. Both Neji and Itachi were also shocked. They know that this is the king's order, so they must do it in the future. This world has already set the rules, and then, it will be executed according to this order. Have all the space coordinates been recorded? I didn't wait for Urahara Kazuki to answer. Uzumaki Mizuki asked the two. Yes, King. Itachi and Neji both nodded. Both of them have mastered the power of space, and can open the transmission channel through the power of the pupil. The coordinates behind the space crack just now have been captured by them, and the road to Hueco Mundo can be opened at any time. Hearing this answer, Urahara Kazuki's expression changed. These three people gave him the feeling that none of them were simple roles. When he fought with Yami just now, he came over, and like Ulquiorra's method, he couldn't see what tricks Neji and Itachi use. No Ryatsu at all, so weird. However, Uzumaki Mizuki did not answer what he meant. Take Neji and Itachi directly and use Flying Thunder God to leave the scene. It seems that there are still things hidden in this world that you don't know about. Yoruichi's side, the last to appear. She hid in the dark as a backhand. After all, she was not that strong in frontal battles and was more suitable for sneak attacks. However, she also couldn't see through the strength of those three people. The Gyuki snake Shendu has appeared. It seems that this time, it's a little difficult. Urahara Kazuki lowered the brim of his hat, not letting anyone see the slightly excited face under his hat. After all, like Orochimaru, he is a scientific researcher, and exploring the reality and essence of this world is what he wants to do. However, before that, at least this world cannot be destroyed, and at the same time, it cannot affect my own research. The spiritual power of this place is much stronger than the place we just arrived. Advertisement: Orochimaru was slightly excited. During the day, I sent Shadow Clone out, and caught the Shadow Clone again. He directly opened Shikai to plan, and wanted to study the nature of this creature. It is found that these guys are more like life forms made of natural forces, similar to the state that Otsutsuki Yuya finally wants to transform into. Ordinary people cannot find it through vision. Moreover, Orochimaru has already begun to cultivate new cloned embryos, and will collect the human genes of this world, as well as this virtual gene, and try to start cultivating them. There are many strong people in this world, and they accidentally lost their lives someday. There is no way to resurrect here, Uzumaki Mizuki said. Now mainly look at the work of Orochimaru. The strength of the ninja world, controlling Hueco Mundo and Soul Society, may be a bit difficult. Therefore, if Orochimaru can develop a method to allow people in the ninja world to adapt quickly and increase their strength at the same time, it may be able to provide great help. Hearing what Uzumaki Mizuki said, everyone naturally dare not be careless. People in the ninja world, if they want to have the power of this world, the only thing they can do is what Yu Wang said. The power possessed by that Inoue Orihime and Sado Yasutora. Put the so-called spiritual power in this world on the device, and then activate it to exert your own strength. Like Shinigami's Zanpakuto, if one can master the ability to make a complete manifestation device, then taking over the world should not be too much trouble. Uzumaki Mizuki doesn't care about her either, but Orochimaru was more cautious and knew how to set up a barrier. Itachi and Neji told Orochimaru the information they observed today. Orochimaru here, give your opinion. If it doesn't work, call the Soul Society and get the method of making Zanpakuto. But the speed at which Kagaya-ji absorbs the force of nature is still obvious. He also knew what he came here for, although he didn't put his energy on it, he was more looking for a body that suited him. Suck here for half a day, just like that. If you have time, go to Hueco Mundo and Soul Society, where the power of nature is strong. Orochimaru is very excited here, so many days without sleep, and there is no problem with 2.1. Talk like an uncle. As the Jinchuriki of the real Ten Tails, Kagaya-ji has the ability of a certain god tree. Uzumaki Mizuki said. Look at it and do it. 158. Excited Aizen, take care of yourself. We're back, Master Aizen. At this time, Ulquiorra, who had been covered by Amaterasu, returned to the Palace of Void Knights. He has returned. Because if the blade is not returned, the recovery of the ability of high-speed regeneration cannot keep up with the consumption of Amaterasu. This thing, in fact, he has already thought of a way to solve it, which is to replace all the skin on his body. But he felt that this thing seemed to have some research value, so he came back and prepared to let Master Aizen analyze it. Oh, this thing on you is very interesting. It has no spiritual power, but it keeps burning? On Aizen's side, Amaterasu's strangeness can be seen clearly at a glance. Then, let me see, everything you see and feel in this world. Aizen didn't do anything right away either. Knowing that his little brother is fine, he arranged for him to start replaying with peace of mind. The Ulquiorra method directly cut out his own eyeballs. Before being burned out by Amaterasu, it directly crushed the eyeball. Everything experienced in this world is replayed in front of Aizen. These three are humans. Aizen was a little surprised. The other party didn't use 25 Ryotsu, but the strength they displayed was able to block my attack and penetrate Yami's body. That's why I'm retreating, Ulquiorra explained very calmly. You should have killed them straight away. At this time, Grimjow, who was sitting on the side, said directly and indifferently. He felt that the Ulquiorra law was not worthy of being above himself at all. Do things procrastinately. Haha, interesting, this world has become more interesting, there are still things I don't know. Aizen was a little excited here. Then, get up directly, get up from the throne. Then step by step, he walked to Ulquiorra's body, and then, he directly opened his hand and held the flame of Amaterasu. Completely different power, never seen before. Aizen's face gradually perverted. Sven's scum becomes pervert in an instant. Amaterasu on Aizen fades out as Hogyoku adapts. This technique was not meant to be a particularly powerful move, but after being adapted by Hogyoku, it has no effect. However, the things to do now are more important, and I can't wait. Aizen didn't attack right away, because his original plan is more important. If it's just the ability shown before, it's a spot at most, and he doesn't pay attention to it. Therefore, you can leave it alone, and after you become the new ruler of this world, you can slowly adjust it, and it will be too late. The next day, Soul Society reinforcements arrived. Advertisement: the team led by Hitsugaya Dashiro directly replaced Yoshiko and mixed into Ichigo's school. As for the forces on Uruk, only Orochimaru is still collecting information. But the ones sent out are all shadow clone. Plus without Ryotsu, it's easy to fool the Shinigami and the virtual sides. But at noon, Orochimaru himself appeared. He approached Inoue Orihime and Sado Yasutora. This world belongs to the power that human beings really have, and he is very interested. On Ichigo's side, he was taken out by Rukia to find false spawners. But Hitsugaya and others wandered around. Orochimaru easily sneaked into the school, and then, with a little guidance, brought Inoue Orihime and Sado Yasutora together. Who are you and what is your purpose? Sado Yasutora stood in front of Inoue Orihime with a wary face. Inoue Orihime was not that nervous, because she felt that the person in front of her who looked similar to Big Sister was a bit like the lead singer of a rock band. You are human, you have been suppressed by Shinigami and Shu, do you feel angry? Here in Orochimaru, the old abducted and trafficked children. Open the mouth directly, touching the most uncomfortable point in the hearts of the two of them. I thought it was a pervert, but I didn't expect to know so many things. Both Sado Yasutora and Inoue Orihime turned serious. I can help you become stronger, I also admit it, but in exchange, you have to help me conduct some experiments. It won't hurt yourselves, nor will it cause harm to others, I just want to collect a little data. On Orochimaru's side, he spoke very calmly. At the same time, slowly open your hands. Rasengan flowed directly in Orochimaru's hand. This is. Both Sado Yasutora and Inoue Orihime were a little surprised. They didn't feel any Ryotsu, but what is going on with this glowing ball in front of you? Orochimaru didn't mean to be cryptic either. The arms stretched straight out, and the Rasengan in the palm directly interrupted the lazy tree next to a tree that was wrapped by one person. The whole tree just fell down. Wood style. Then, Orochimaru withdrew his arm and made a light nod gesture. The tree grew a new trunk directly from the broken position, connected the fallen tree body, and then returned to its original shape. After you think it over, you can come to this address to find me. Orochimaru took out a piece of paper and wrote down the address of his current residence, and handed it to the two of them. Then, directly Shun Shin disappeared in front of the two of them. What happened? On Hitsugaya's side, they rushed directly with a group of people. Both Sado Yasutora and Inoue Orihime hesitated, not knowing what to say. Advertisement, although strong, can be used, it is not necessary. On Orochimaru's side, he still dare not make his own claim. Only peaceful communication is still possible, everyone helps each other. I have to study the realization technique myself, but I can also give the other party chakra seeds as a reward. It's not a hassle. By the way, you can also collect a little gene. After Orochimaru went back, he continued to study his new clone, preparing to try another body in this world. Uzumaki Mizuki played games in the room. Let Itachi and Neji go out to buy vegetables and cook. He is at ease. Itachi's first-hand molecular cuisine is very powerful. Through Mangekyo Sharingan, the fire is controlled to the best, so that each molecule can be divided accurately. The dishes made by 133 are very delicate. Neji was slightly off the mark. The group was headed by Uzumaki Mizuki. He didn't speak, and the others naturally didn't have any opinions. Kagaya-hime, someone came to your door because of you, get rid of him. Uzumaki and Mizuki are having fun. After arriving in the ninja world, he has never relaxed. After getting this slightly familiar world, he relaxed a lot, without the sense of urgency he had before. In the middle of the night, someone came to the door. Whoever caused it will resolve it. Yes, King. Kaguya Hime was somewhat reluctant, slowly got up from the yard. She raised her head and looked at an errand car standing in midair looking at her with indifferent eyes. Kaguya Hime can be humble to Uzumaki Mizuki. She never paid attention to others. Dare to look down on yourself? Without giving this errand car time to react, the reincarnation Sharingan on his forehead opened directly. A strong air pressure hit this errand car directly. Then reincarnation Sharingan slowly closed. Errand car in midair was directly shattered all over. Everyone in Karakura town was overwhelmed by this momentum. Shocked, because they all felt a powerful Ryotsu disappear. Hueco Mundo. Soul Society, people on both sides are in disbelief. Who is it? 159. Tensigan mode Hyuga Neji, it's that group. Only Urahara Kazuki said with a serious face, who is it? Abarai Renji wondered, the place he chose to live is Urahara Kazuki. A bunch of dangerous guys. But today, I probably don't have time to care about those. Let's figure out a way later. Urahara Kazuki looks at the night sky, sensing Ryotsu around. With Hitsugaya et al., Ichigo's pressure was reduced a lot in an instant. Abarai Renji also swallowed the Yihun pill, ready to fight at any time. Kagaya-ji-sama, it's a pity, it's good to keep it, such material is very rare. It was too late when Orochimaru came out. Kagaya-ji abuse dishes have a hand. In addition to being similar in strength, she can be dragged to opponents who use experience as the key to victory. Others who are weaker than her are basically instant kills. If you want it, grab it yourself. Somewhat afraid of Orochimaru, Kagaya-ji. This kind of person is too pervert, it made her feel a little scared. Wong, can I do it? Orochimaru also felt that there was no problem when he heard Kagaya-ji say so. So he opened his mouth quickly and made a request to Uzumaki Mizuki upstairs. Whoever you want, go wherever you want if you are not afraid of death. Itachi and Neji, you too, if you want to see something, just go and see, feel free to come out. Uzumaki Mizuki spoke directly here, in this world, it is not so easy to die. And ninjas are the most cautious, and they all have strong strength, so they won't fall so easily. Yes, King, after Orochimaru received the order, he ran out directly. It feels like every night is very lively here. The king will be guarded by me, if you want to go, just go and have a look. Itachi said to Neji. After all, he is the same generation as his younger brother. Although he is 1 year older, it does not prevent Itachi from treating Neji as a child. Trouble, Commander Itachi. Neji naturally wanted to go out and have a blast. He has been suppressed in the ninja world, and he feels that in this world, he should not be able to. With Itachi around, he doesn't have to worry about anything. He left the house directly and rushed towards the battlefield he thought was the most intense. Advertisement. That guy Ulquiorra is really too careless. He has already fallen 2 Arankars. This kind of threat should be resolved early. Grimmjow originally wanted to go directly to Uzumaki Mizuki. But halfway through, another subordinate was dropped in seconds. The distance was relatively short, so he came to Ichigo and Rukia. The errand car just now was dropped by Rukia in seconds. A group of people are fighting. But secretly, Orochimaru's shadow clone controls the white phosphorus snake, secretly collecting various materials. Including Shinigami's blood, and these are Ankar's genes, etc. He has gained a lot. There are scenes of fierce fighting everywhere. No one ever noticed him as a guy who didn't have the slightest bit of Ryotsu. It will not be aware of ordinary snakes. Bankai Ryamon Hazukimaru. Bankai Baboon King Zabumaru. Bankai Dagoran Hiranmaru. The battle quickly heated up. A few people who know Bankai immediately exploded. The location Neji chose was Hitsugaya Toshiro's side. Because he was wearing a small vest, it felt different. Is it only to this extent? Sure enough, it's a sign. Xiao Long of Arankar number 11 looked indifferently at Hitsugaya Toshiro whose body was bleeding. On Matsumoto Rangaku's side, trying to pull it aside. But can't help much. As for Inoue Orihime, he could only stand below and watch the battle with Rangaku's Yoshiku, there was no other way. It seems that I chose the wrong position. The battle in this place is a little easier. Neji stepped out of the shadows. He rolled his eyes and was attracted by Grimmjow. But the Shinigami here seems to be unable to hold on. Shinigami is considered to be in the camp of order, while Shu kills humans indiscriminately, so Neji naturally has a bad opinion of Shu. It was yesterday, Inoue Orihime recognizes Neji. But Neji glanced at him, and then flexed his neck. Then, get covered in green chakra. Neji entered Tensigan chakra mode. What is that? No Ryotsu. Xiao Long and Hitsugaya Toshiro, who were in midair, both noticed the powerful momentum suddenly appearing below. Looking down, I saw Hyuga Neji slowly floating up. Advertisement, but the pupils of the two shrank immediately. Because that figure has disappeared, it's over. Suddenly another voice was heard. The voice came from behind Xiao Long. Hitsugaya Toshiro looked at Hyuga Neji in disbelief. And Neji's palm has already lived on Xiao's head. Xiao Long had no time to return the blade. I wanted to escape, but my body couldn't move at all. Concentrated green chakra, straight up popping. Xiaolong's head disappeared immediately, and then Neji raised his hand and pulled it back. The Ryotsu in Arrancar's body was directly pulled out by Neji. And Arrancar's body also turned into spirit particles and disappeared in midair. Instant seconds. Impossible, without any Ryotsu. How did he do it? Hitsugaya Toshiro couldn't believe it, completely broke through his common sense. And the opponent easily pulled the huge Ryotsu out of Arrancar's body. What kind of power is this? Neji glanced at Hitsugaya Toshiro and didn't intend to kill him. Captain Hitsugaya, limited edition has been approved. But at the same time, a voice came from the prop that communicated with Soul Society. Boom, 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 far away, several Shinigami erupted directly. They've been beaten by Arrancar all the time. Seeing this, Hitsugaya didn't hesitate, and directly lifted the restrictions, deserved, to restore her own strength. Do you want to fight? Seeing Hitsugaya like this, Neji was somewhat surprised. At the same time, I feel that the other party is a bit shameless. He obviously wanted to help kill Arrancar because he saw that you were injured, but he turned around and was hiding his strength. You are not hypocritical. Then, there is no reason to fight. Now I am going to help my companions. If you fight, next time. Hitsugaya Toshiro didn't move at the end. Regarding Neji, he recalled what Urahara Kazuki had said to them yesterday. It's not the time to fall out with 10. After finishing speaking, Hitsugaya immediately greeted Rangaku to help Abarai Renji and others. Seeing this, Neji didn't say much and rushed directly to the battlefield between Ichigo and Grimmjow. It feels like a little bit of a fight here. Just now, it was too weak. 160. Urahara Kazuki's visit, Crescent Sky rushes. After Ichigo Bankai cut out a powerful attack, on Grimmjow's side, it took a little effort to block it. Ha ha ha, that's what makes it interesting. Go on, Ichigo. Grimmjow said, very excited. However, there's no time to fight the second wave. Tusen is here. At the same time, Hitsugaya also appeared. The other Shinigami, who also killed their opponents, followed to this central battlefield. You should consider the consequences of doing such a thing, right? Master Aizen is very angry, Tusen said calmly. But at this word, Grimmjow was shocked. The fear of Aizen is etched into the soul. The pleasure of fighting finally appeared, but it disappeared immediately. Hey, are you running away? On Ichigo's side, looking at Grimmjow in midair, he was very angry. Obviously you came to provoke me first, but you are leaving before the winner is decided? Neji watched silently from the side. It feels like this world is really lively. Also found Orochimaru on the sidelines. He has no intention of continuing to participate. As for the order camp, he didn't have much thought. These would have to wait for the king's order. Originally thought that there would be a big battle, which would make him care a little bit, but he didn't expect it to be such a disappointment. I went straight back. 398 group of people left. Shinigami, all suffered a lot of injuries. All of them were seriously injured because they couldn't exert their own strength because there was no limit to release. Orochimaru was full of rewards and went back very satisfied. But the next day, an uninvited guest ushered in. Urahara Kazuki, Yoruichi, Inoue Orihime, and Sado Yasutora. On Sado Yasutora's side, he didn't help at all last night. He was rejected by his friends and asked him to leave the battlefield. This made him very frustrated. So I thought of Orochimaru, saying that it could help them become stronger. However, Sado Yasutora believed in Urahara Kazuki even more, so he approached him first, and he told him about Orochi's approach. In the end, Urahara Kazuki made his decision. As the person in charge in this world, I should pay a visit to find out what the intentions of these uninvited guests are. Since the other party helped Hitsugaya Toshiro and killed Broken last night, it means that the other party is not from Hueco Mundo. Knowing this, you can negotiate. Advertisement at the same time, it also proves that the strength of the opponent is not simple, and it should have captain-level experience. 3 captain-level characters. This is not a force that anyone can underestimate. Ding dong. Very normal visit. He also rang the bell at the door. It was Uchiha Itachi who opened the door. I don't know what you can do. Uchiha Itachi looked at everyone very calmly. When these people approached, they were discovered. Since the other party is visiting very normally, he will not use any bad attitude. Last time, and last night's help, I didn't have time to thank you. This time, I made a special trip to visit and thank you. This is a gift. As Urahara Kazuki spoke, he raised a snack in his hand. There is no need to thank you, then, that's it. Uchiha Itachi spoke. Uzumaki and Mizuki didn't give him an order, so he naturally didn't dare to invite the other party into the process. Itachi's attitude surprised Urahara Kazuki and others. After all, the other party has been helping them, but has not communicated with them. Let him think that the other party wants to visit by himself and take a better posture. But now in this situation, I guessed wrong? This time, apart from thanking you, there are actually other things. I want to communicate with each other, but I don't know if it is possible? Urahara Kazuki could only continue to ask. It's all here, he doesn't want to leave empty-handed like this. So a PY invitation was issued. You, not qualified enough. Please leave, Uchiha Itachi said very directly. A king is a king. Not everyone can see it. It was hard to accept Uchiha Itachi's answer. What about insulting? I don't know what qualifications I need, CFFH. Urahara Kazuki asked with a frown. He was going to see what the other party could say after he got this qualification. In this world, Hueco Mundo, Soul Society, and the leaders of the three planes are qualified to visit. If you have nothing else to do, please don't bother. Uchiha Itachi said straight. Level equivalence, advertisement. Although the three planes feel that it is not enough to take them out alone. But, barely enough. A scientific researcher, a fighter, is not qualified to meet the king. Are you one of those leaders? Yoruichi, who was on the side, asked a little unhappy. She felt that this person was somewhat similar to herself. A person who lives in darkness. I'm just an ordinary guard captain. Uchiha Itachi replied. Where was the one from last night? Urahara Kazuki followed suit. It's a member of the bodyguard. Uchiha Itachi is not idle either, although he was also planning to destroy his family at the beginning. But he is also a good character. Hearing this answer, both Urahara Kazuki and Yoruichi tensed up. Very troublesome. What is the origin of this? I can't understand it at all, which makes Urahara Kazuki feel a little flustered. The vice captain is his younger brother, Sasuke. The guards are basically composed of super cage level. There are only a few Rinegons and Tenseigens, and Naruto is the younger brother of the king, so naturally he can't be a bodyguard. Fugaku is the commander-in-chief of the entire ninja military, more of a civilian job. At the same time, his eyes were also on Urahara Kazuki. With enough strength, you can protect yourself and the people you want to protect. I leave it to you, Orochimaru. I can help you become stronger without too much burden. Uchiha Itachi Junction. Orochimaru came out from the basement, opened the door on the first floor, and walked out. The old lied to the child. Orochimaru was very interested in fooling the two high school students. We're here to thank you, not to beg you. Sorry. Are you here to complete that deal? This world is becoming more and more dangerous. But at this time, someone else appeared. Uzumaki Mizuki told him about this man, a scientist of the Soul Society, one of the best scholars in the world. Seeing someone answering, Sado Yasutora didn't say much.